creative conversation and news, views, and reviews on comics. Stay tuned for Comic Book Spectrum.
Seconds.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
Welcome to Comic Book Spectrum, a Rising Tide Broadcast Network production. Get ready to explore the world of comics, past, present, and future, with our panelists Eric Hawkins, Brian Rodman, and Clyde Hall. And now here's your host, Brian K. Morris.
And welcome, everyone. Yes, the mic is unmuted now. Anyway, glad you're here. Welcome to the Thursday, February 24th, 2022 edition of Comic Book Spectrum. We've got some great books to review tonight, and we're going to be talking about stuff and just generally having some fun for the next hour or two, and we hope you'll join in the conversation in the chat, and we're glad to have you here. But first of all, we got to show our gratitude to our sponsor tonight, which is, as usual, Jeffrey Hayes and Plasmafire Graphics. Plasmafire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. You've created a great book, whether it's a comic book or a paperback, and you want a great cover to help sell that, just like this one. My latest book from Stormgate Press, The Lost Adventures of Captain Hawkland, The Skyhook Remnant. Pick it up right now for 99 cents on Amazon. But isn't that beautiful cover? Oh, heck yes, you say. But anyway, if you want to see more like that and you want to hire Jeffrey Hayes and Plasmafire Graphics, go to the Plasmafire Graphics page on Facebook and see many printed examples. I mean, they've all been published of Jeffrey's work, and then bob on over to plasmafiregraphics.com, check out more samples, and then contact Jeffrey directly and find out his independent creator friendly prices. You'll be amazed, and you will be glad to work with the guy. He's wonderful. That's Jeffrey Hayes and Plasmafire Graphics. So the look of your book matters to you because it definitely matters to your readers. We are part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, and we're proud to say that following this show at 9 p.m. Eastern, we've got Stupid O'Clock with Joe Dog McKeel, followed by Last Man Standing with Dan Hollifield, and a full Friday. And heck, we got 7 days a week of entertainment and enlightenment. So please check out our Facebook page for Rising Tide Broadcast Network and give it a like if you would. We also want to thank our Patreon supporters whose support keeps us on the air and growing and thriving. And if you want to join the Rising Tide mission as well as get your name on this card, check out what we offer you at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And now here's the part I like best about this show. We are going to unmute everyone, and we've got a wonderful quartet of wonderful people here. We've got Brian Rodman, Jody McFee, Clyde Hall, and the pro slayer Eric S. Hawkins here tonight. Guys, how the heck are you doing?
We want to drink our blood.
Well, I've got like this, but I don't think he drinks wine.
You must be Hungarian, and you must be double jointed.
I never drink wine.
And so they, oh, you look like Brian Rodman. Wow. Holy Holy cats! What a canny disguise.
I know, I fooled you all, haven't I?
Yes, you did. I was getting ready to pull the steak out of your heart, behead you, and stuff your mouth full of garlic. Boy, I'm glad you stopped me when you
don't
did.
threaten me with a good time.
Nothing but here, I'm telling you. But anyway, this will show you what you have to expect, people. But anyway, we've got a full agenda, somewhat planned.
Let's we start off with our favorite disclaimer.
Oh yes,
Where we're
thank
going?
you, Joe. Thank you. We gotta get our disclaimer
our favorite
up.
disclaimer. Where we go, we need no rails.
That's right. That's right. Okay, that may be Joe. That may be Joe's for the night. But we also have. I'd rather read a Cullen Bunn comic from Eric S. Hawkins, and it was too big to be called a sword. So anyway, let's see. Okay, here we go. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host, the guests, as well as the audience, and are not necessarily opinions of any other members of the human race or the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. So anyway, I feel official now. We've got a disclaimer. So anyway, let's go back to here and let's go around the room and introduce ourselves. And we'll start with Mr. Bella Rodman down there. Tell everyone who you are and why you are so awesome.
Well, I don't know why I'm so awesome, but I'm Brian Rodman, and you can find me at brianrodman.com. I made it easy so I wouldn't forget. And and there you can find comics like Memoirs of an Angel and The Nebulizer, as well as a link to my Patreon page where you will find comics like The Princess Warriors, which is an all-age book. The next entry is coming out on Monday next week, so be prepared. And other than that, I am 1/4 of the Dastardly Dingoes podcast. This week, if you missed the show, we talked about some really cool, interesting subjects. We had Ted Davies on.
Who's that?
I don't know. He's some guy. And he actually dropped some really good wisdom. He really praised Chad entirely too much, but he did drop some wisdom at the end of the show, especially the last 20 minutes were phenomenal. So whole episode was a lot of fun. Go check it out, Dastardly Dingoes channel here on YouTube. Other than that, you can find me on all my social media outlets. I won't be posting very much for the next couple months just because focusing on some more important things. But when I come back, I'll come back swinging. So you've been warned.
There you go. And I prefer to think of him as Mr. Christine Davies. But anyway.
Yes, I think that is appropriate.
Yeah, I think so too. And here he is, a man that needs an introduction, but he's getting one anyway, but he'll have to supply it. Joe D. McFee. Joe, tell everyone what you're about.
Oh, I'm about just writing and creating comic books. That's pretty much what I'm about. And also there's also things in the works where I might end up getting replaced by Luke Stone if you paid attention to the premiere show of Nerd Bacon this morning. So pretty much, I am Joe D. McFee. I'm the president of Assiduously Studios, creator of Amazonia, Primetime Saturday Night, and AWF here. And recently every Thursday I've been here on Comic Book Spectrum, but you could always see me 100% of the time on Front of Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the Rising Tide Network on Saturdays at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central.
Excellent. Now, I want to assure you, Joe, that we are not going to replace you. We're not going to fire you just for Luke Stone. However, I hope everyone tunes in to the special Thunderdome episode that we'll be having soon, starring Luke Stone and Joe D. McFee. It's going to be fun. Bring the kids.
Joe can easily take him right now. I think Luke's still on oxygen.
if nothing else, you just run around the
Look, hey, all they have to do is put LSD in that oxygen tank, and he is a good fighter.
But I also think Luke could probably still take Rodman.
yeah. Here's the thing. This is my ultimate fighter disclaimer. I got you for 10 seconds. After that, I'm dead. So, there it is.
No, do it like how Macho Man Randy Savage did in the Fire Man.
10 seconds of playtime.
Oh my God, we've got so much to look forward to in the weeks to come. Anyway, and now let's turn it over to the voice of dignity himself, the pro slayer himself.
Oh, I thought you were going to Clyde.
Hold on, wait. Eric's the voice of dignity? Oh,
Yes, I am.
Compared to us, yes.
I am Eric Scott Hawkins. I'm the creator of the Xylophone World of Oz. Yeah, I'm a comic book writer, artist, collector of fun little toys.
Look at the bobble.
Ooh.
And actually, I just recently, this year, started distributing comics for other creators, mostly creators across the seas, the pond, so they could easily distribute them to the American audiences here. Vestry number 4 was funded, and I have all the files. I'll be sending that off to the printer this week, so we'll be getting that shipped out here in just about 3 weeks.
Nice. Very cool. All right. And that's it?
That's it.
Okay,
that's
cool.
all I can think of. Go Wolverines!
And other X-Men. Anyway, here he is, the one you've been waiting for, Mr. Clyde Hall. Clyde, introduce yourself if you would, s'il vous plaît.
Hello. Oh, he's French. Look at that.
Oui.
And he's incontinent. Oh, boy.
Well, I was going to say I'm cool because I get to hang with the cool people, but that's kind of out the window. No, I am cool because I
He's
have a
crazy
seat.
like a fox. That's the reason why he makes us look good.
And hungry like the wolf, everyone.
And other zootopical kinds of comparisons. Where's Cindy Cap when you need her? But I'm cool because I haven't always had a reserve spot at the cool kids table. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. And yet now I'm hanging with the coolest people, readers. That's you.
There you go.
And the uber cool strata of creatives like the writers and artists here and all over the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. I'm Clyde Hall, independent author, and I began writing comic reviews back at a site called doomrocket.com in 2017. They've been on a hiatus since last year while the editors worked on a new format, but now Doomrocket is back, and I am once again offering comics and cover reviews there. So you can go to www.doomrocket.com to see my review this week there, and you can go to Comics Bookcase, comicsbookcase.com, where every Wednesday we post the finest new comic book day comics, reviews, news, and interviews. And I am a contributing writer at Stormgate Press. My work is appearing in their anthology series, Pulp Reality 1, 2, 3, and there are several projects this year where my work will also be featured. It's all available on Amazon, but you should also go to www.stormgatepress.com to see the full variety of publications we have in the new pulp genre, with work by everybody from Brian K. Morris to Charles F. Milhouse, Bobby Nash, Ted Davies, Stephen Burks, Candace Camilleri, Clayton Merwin, Scott Donnelly, Carl Dietrich, and others. And every Thursday, I get to be here for NCBD +1 on Comic Book Spectrum. Wear it proudly.
There we go. Beautiful.
And that was stormgatepress.com, not stormydaniels.com.
That's right.
Oh, I got to change my browser. Thank you, Clyde. And I'm Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, freelance writer, artist, award-winning playwright, Facebook famous YouTuber, and former mortician's assistant. And I am privileged to be here to semi-run this madhouse. And if you want to learn more about me, go to risingtide.pub. And also don't forget to, did we lose somebody? Okay, we lost Brian. Yeah, anyway, and I work for a variety of other publishers aside from Rising Tide. But please check me out at Rising Tide, and also check out our broadcasts too on YouTube. We got all kinds of cool things going. But yeah, we have misplaced Mr. Rodman. Did he have an asthma attack or something, or what?
I don't know. I think it might be internet connected here, because if it was the other thing, we all get cheated because it was the internet that took him out, not us. Therefore, the game is over.
I think he went to go look up StormyDaniels.com and got sidetracked.
Yeah, he was grabbing his mouse pretty firmly there. But anyway, there he is. There he is. All right, he's back.
There's a storm going right now, so
Oh,
I heard like a crack of thunder earlier that I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck?
Yeah.
So
thunderstorm. That crap's scary.
I love thunderstorms. I'm just annoyed right now because this,
Well, at least you've got a thunderstorm. We've got a couple inches of snow heading out. But it's going to protect all that ice that was laid down earlier.
Yeah,
so.
Oh, good.
Don't
We
remind
need
me
to
about
protect that.
shoveling later on.
Yeah, we just got sleet here. It's
Yeah.
I got to shovel later on, so
Yeah, I can't shovel till about 4:30 tomorrow morning, unfortunately. So to get the misses out of here. So anyway, let's go to our comments, of which we have many. And I see some wonderful names. They're like Carl Witzman. Carl, good to see you this evening. Glad you're here. And Sarah, as always, mwah, are the comic book queen of Charleston, Illinois. And Donna expresses her regrets in missing tonight. Carl, I hope she's feeling better, Carl. She was a little under the weather yesterday. And it's understandable. No need to apologize. Please send her my back love. And gabbing in the back room, maybe. We tend to. And Cool Gamer, hello to you. Thank you. I'm glad you're here and watching us on YouTube for the superior picture and sound you deserve. And Carl's laughing at me. And Lou Motion from Facebook. How you doing, Lou? Good to see you. Lou is a very popular writer, does a lot of stuff for Warrant, and just had a new book released. And if you want to put that link into your new book, feel free. And there he is, Mr. Christine Davies. There's Ted. Hello, good evening, superheroes. Ted, good to see you.
Well, I'm glad he got his nose out of Chad's butt long enough to make a comment.
Ow.
ouch,
Oh, man.
ouch,
Well delivered, young man. Well delivered.
ouch.
Well, this is
not worthy.
this is
We
the
are
voice of
not worthy.
this is the voice of dignity we were talking about.
Oh my God! Ted's just going like every week. I tune in. Which one's going to take a swipe at me? We love you, Ted.
We
You're
love you,
great.
Ted.
And Carl Winston says, I cannot chat much. Sleeping cat on one arm, probably going to take out that vein again.
Yeah, sweet little kitty.
I know, sweet little kitty. So anyway, Ted, Sarah, and my hips are double jointed. True story.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah, I'm about to say, stay on the rail. What rails?
I love the quotes with no context, Sarah. So do I. Most of the time. Anyway, everyone say hello. And Lissy, good to see you here, Lissy. Mwah. So happy to see you. Hello to you. And
I've already seen
Leon.
her today.
We haven't. We want our turn. So
Still,
yeah.
how's it going?
Yeah.
Hey,
and
real quick, real great news about my daughter there, Alyssa.
Yes.
She has finally been approved for a cochlear implant.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yay. Good
Yeah.
deal. Coolness. Glad to hear that. Well, that was not intended, excuse me. But anyway.
Jeez, Brian, that's rude.
You're insensitive.
I know, I've been working at it for years. So the abuse has merely begun. But anyway, let's see, that is good news. I'm so happy for you, seriously. And Phil Leon, we are so happy to see you here. Hey, panel people. Good to see you, Phil.
Yep.
Leave a comment or something where we can find your wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
And Ted Davies Artistry says, Porn Sack Dignity. Great stage name, Hawkins. And I think it's going to be a long time before the Pro Slayer gets to go on TED Talks on Tuesday mornings on the Rising Tide Network. And everyone's saying hello. And Ryan Permisson, hello, CBS crew, how are you? We are well,
Hey, Ryan.
sir.
Fantastic.
We are
I'm
feisty.
looking forward to our chat in March.
Yeah, definitely. Tune into that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Ryan's a great guest. And if you want him as a guest on your show, contact him via direct messenger on Facebook. He will show up. And Sarah, don't forget to like this episode, says the Dark Mistress of the Dark Church of the Rising Tide. We're glad to have you here, Sarah. Please like this episode. Whether you're watching us live or on the rerun, we'd appreciate it. And if you're watching on YouTube, please leave us a comment if you would, and hit that thumbs up button if you liked any part of this at any time in history or plan to. And yes, Brian?
Or perish.
Or perish, yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, that was worth waiting for. So
Yes.
anyway, you know what your duty is. Get busy.
You
And just
said duty.
that's right. And I'll probably say worse before the evening's over. And hi there from Joseph Morning, great podcaster. Glad to see you here, my friend. Oh, and wait a second, hold on. This is a good question here. We'll deal with this in a few minutes. All right. And we've got our first Russian bot of the night. I think you've got other things to be doing, Sylvia Hannah. And so what you're saying is that you have nothing to do, right, Clyde?
That's right.
And
Pretty
yeah,
much.
we got it. We got it, Sarah. Thank you. And props to that burn. I bow to thee. And Carl Winsman's got too close to the flame war because he's going, ouch. And Lizzie says it's all good. I was kind of glad to hear it.
Oh,
Not just
there it
me.
is.
It's not just me. I
Well
love you,
done,
Lizzie.
madam.
You're awesome. And Sarah said it goes, approve for what? I'm not sure what that is, Eric. Eric, would you like to explain it?
Really, I don't know 100% what it is. I do have she did bring by the book so I can read about it. Oh, there it goes. She's just put it in there.
She just got.
Oh,
But,
there it is.
yeah, it is a surgical and helps the hearing impaired. It's not actually a hearing aid they insert, but it's supposed to help. But yeah, read that. That's probably better.
Yes, Lissy says cochlear implant. It's a special device that's surgically placed to bypass the damaged cochlea to send digital sound to the auditory nerve. So that's
a lot much better than I could have said. A lot much better.
That's so much better goodness.
Better goodness. Wow.
And I think, didn't Lou Ferrigno have that done not
Yes,
too long
better
ago? And
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got a couple other friends that have that as well. And there's a bit of fine tuning that goes along with it, but it's a godsend to a lot of people. And it can be, I guess there's two kinds of implants you can do, and one is like for the cochlear part of the ear, and then one's like it sounds like it's directly into the nerve, which is another one. But anyway, Sarah says wonderful. We agree with you there. And Lizzie says it's a prosthetic ear. No, it's a bionic ear. This makes you even cooler than before. See,
Makes you like Lindsay Wagner.
Yeah, exactly.
Jamie Summers got nothing on you.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly right. And my understanding is if you get the right model, you can actually, and I'm not joking when I say this, you can put in an MP3 player.
That's awesome.
I seriously think so. I really do. Oh, no, it is. I hear that's what I have heard. I don't know. I don't think it's every model.
Or pick up ham radio.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, Carl Witzman can talk to her though. She'll hear Carl Witzman in her ear now.
Sirius XM brought to you by.
There we go. Yeah. We'll get our own channel on there. There we go.
Yeah.
And Sarah, we are happy for her too. Ted Davies Artistry, more SAF supplied. Had done Jeff over from the other Jealous cast member a few weeks ago. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but
yeah.
Yep.
That's some of that Michigan slang.
Yeah, I think so. Does he come with subtitles? And Jennifer Hawkins says, we are over the moon excited. However, after one holiday at our house, she may regret it.
That could change things quickly.
You can turn them off, too, just so you know.
Yeah. 5 kids, spouses, and 8 grandkids.
And a partridge and a pear tree.
And 2 Yorkie poos.
Wow.
Eric, you may want to get one of those too for the holiday. Just
I think he wants some earplugs.
I'm a father, so of course I've naturally learned how to tune things out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. You've got the training, then you're fine. And Ted Davies mocks us with his laughter. And JD Smith, digital artist. This episode of Absurd Science Brain Gadgets brought to you by Brian Morse. That is right, sir. We are the learning place. I don't know what you're going to learn here at CityU's. Bless you, Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rainbow.
And Sarah says, my mom can listen to TV and answer calls with her hearing aid. Crazy awesome. That's good news. That's cool. And but anyway, we have gone through everyone's comments in dare I say record time.
Yeah.
I'm talking faster these days. So and Sarah says
it's all that cocaine you've been sniffing lately. That's what it is.
Well, I've been hanging around Eric and he was talking about
Stop telling people secrets. That was not supposed to be on air.
Oh, I'm sorry. At least I didn't tell him about the LSD.
Oh no. At least now people will have a reason for my verbiage. But anyway, Sarah says, and you can't see the hearing aid with how little it is. Yeah, some of them are damn near microscopic. I know somebody else that has pair of hearing regular. I should say regular. Nothing that required surgery or anything. But she puts them in her ears, and I can't tell she's got them in. Except my father-in-law has hearing aids too, and sometimes you can tell when he doesn't have them properly adjusted because you'll be sitting there and then suddenly you hear this and my father's head is making a noise. What is this? And so anyway, and the technology is amazing now, Lissy. It really is. I think this is. I'm seriously very happy for it. I really am. And strippers and blow, just like Hawkins said, the life of an indie comic creator.
That is true. That if you're curious as to what he's talking about, tune in to Dastardly Dingo's podcast this past week.
That's right, where they got some quality heckling this week.
Where they talk about Ben Affleck's addiction to strippers and hoes or blow. Yep. Strippers, hoes, and blow.
There we go.
I feel like there's a song here that I just
Yeah,
I feel like it's there somewhere.
A new version.
It's right on the verge of a country song or a rap
song.
It's
a remix.
It's like Silver and Gold from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Hookers
and blow, hookers and blow.
I was thinking
where the show's going, nobody knows.
Hookers and blow, the area code.
And Sarah Mockstead with the laughter, and it's not nice to call Jennifer Lopez that. If we did not call her Blow. Well, never mind. Anyway, I expect another flurry of Russian bots now that I've said that.
Yeah, my favorite Ben Affleck line from any movie would have been Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Aha! I did not have a hooker in my trailer last night.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a long night. Anyway, speaking of long nights, here is Sir Brian Rodman.
Well, wait, hold up. This voting time first.
Oh, that's right. We've got another vote here. What are our? I'll give you the full screen here, sir, and please tell us what are our choices this week.
Well, it's down to 2.
Okay.
Because I read this and I have to reread it again because I want to be as accurate as possible. And that's Nubia and the Amazons number 5. Mm-hmm. Even though I haven't done number 4 as of yet, but I can do both at the same time. So tonight's vote is going to be down to Ant number 2 or G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, The Saturday Morning Adventures.
G.I. Joe.
We have a soundtrack tonight. This is awesome. And of course,
I was hoping for the movie one. Yes.
And I'm going to get a copyright claim now, probably. But
I was hoping for the movie trailer.
I was hoping to turn off.
Where it's like, crashing through the sky comes the fearful cry. Cobra.
Anyway, Burl Ives sings Strippers and Blow, and we have a vote already. Carl Witzman votes for G.I. Joe.
I vote for G.I. Joe as well.
I vote G.I. Joe.
Same here. And Cindy Kemp, thank God you're here. We need some.
Thank God you're here, and we apologize ahead of time.
Yeah, we apologize for the previous 28 minutes and 45 seconds. But anyway, we're glad you're here, Cindy. CKOEPP.com. Check out that great website. And Spencer Heffron, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Spencer. Glad to see you. And, yeah, okay, we're not going to read that, Sarah. I've got to learn to read ahead when my friends are typing. Oh, dear God. Anyway, so anyway, you have your 2 choices there. Nubia, number 5, right, Joe?
No, Ant number 2.
Ant number 2, and
or G.I. Joe,
A Real American
Saturday Morning Adventures number 1.
Right.
So G.I. Joe or a comic that doesn't matter. So those are what you should.
Hey, it's canceled anyway. Screw them. Anyway, anyway.
Oh, hey, real quick about G.I. Joe. So they had a live stream. Hasbro did this morning for their new releases of their figures.
Right.
They were interviewing IDW about upcoming comics.
Yeah.
That comic being one of them. And then
Yeah.
the other one, I was like,
What about
Do
G.I.
they
Joe
not
300
know?
that's supposed to be coming out soon?
yeah.
What were they having a clearance sale? What?
No, well, they announced some new figures coming out for retro line and the classified line and some other stuff. And then since there's some G.I. Joe comics, of course, they brought them into it. Like, well,
why not?
I still like the re-release of the Sky Striker.
I didn't buy it though. I wanted to.
It's too much money.
Oh, we got another
not
vote for G.I.
listening.
Joe.
G.I. Joe.
Jennifer's not listening. You can order it while Brian's talking, and
Yeah.
Anyway, we have 2 votes from our audience for G.I. Joe, and Carl Witzman has tied off his vein and stopped the bleeding, saying Kitten got up to get a snack. I can type now, and Sarah sending hope. Love to me, and thank you for not reading it. Adult supervision is here. Puts foot in mouth. There we go. And JD Smith Digital Artist says the other comic, man up. And Jennifer Hawkins says G.I. Joe, the girls and I vote, so 3 total.
Ooh, yeah.
Excuse me, nothing, Jennifer, nothing.
Nothing to see here. Everything's normal. No one's spending your money.
That's right. Oh yes, I'm a great enabler.
I did not buy it. Was it like $250 for it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure when it came out new, it was only like 40.
Right,
Back-
but
yeah.
they added extra details and changed how it was made.
Yeah.
It's a lot more
Yeah.
sturdier. But
Yeah.
still,
I gotta tell you guys though, and
250.
I sent it in the chat, and Ted Davies, eat your heart out. I bought the Last Ronin toy made by Playmates from the original Playmates mold of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys, and it comes out in November, and I'm super excited to receive that. So when it happens, we'll all forget that it's coming, and it'll be a big surprise to me, and I'll be very happy, and I will
like
unbox
Christmas.
it. Yeah, and I will be unboxing it on the Dastardly Dingoes and showing it off on here.
There we go. And Lissy has voted for G.I. Joe as well. And Jennifer Hawkins says that is a tax deduction, so we can discuss. I don't say no that often.
See?
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
And Eric's wondering what the trap is, right?
It's
Good.
research. So
Yeah.
it's
therefore, there's
research.
got to be some other research that she might be looking into.
It could be. You
How to
never
kill
know.
a husband with a 1/18 scale fighter jet.
Yes, the coroner is still trying to pull it out of his rectum. It being sideways is proving a danger. And G.I. Joe, yes, says Ted Davies Artistry. And I thought Playmates was a Hefner thing. Well,
Yeah, I was gonna say, not anymore.
not anymore, no.
Yeah, he's
Number a
quite
couple
dead.
years.
But this was the Playmates toy line, not to be confused with the Playboy Playmates.
That's
Very
true.
different things. Very,
But
very
now
different
doing
things.
all the
You can play with them both, right?
To really talk
Yes,
about
in
Hefner
different
a bad
ways.
light.
Yeah, and this is one you definitely want to unbox, and I wouldn't want to wait till October or so. But anyway,
I would say if the other one's in a box, that's a problem.
yeah. If she
Somebody
isn't
call
that-
the police. That's what I have to say.
She'll be in a box eventually. But anyway,
How you got to marry them all.
and Lizzie says it's a trap.
That's a trap.
Her and Admiral Ekbar are saying the same thing, and it's still not better than the Teenage Mutant figure Rodman bought.
Aha.
Maybe. And cheers from Germany, Christoph Rademacher. Glad to see you. Hello, we're international now. And the theme of the night is "Don't threaten me with a good time."
Yeah,
Thank you,
that's
JD
right.
Smith.
Indeed.
And run, Hawkins, run! She's up to something. We'd like to announce our new member of the team, Luke Stone, who will be replacing the late Pro Slayer Eric Hawkins. And we'll be able to find Eric. You'll see him over there and over there and way over there.
While FBI agents try to find out how did she get a live ammunition into a $250 Sky Striker.
It really works.
Also, again, Eric, I'm enjoying your Back to the Future cosplay again this week.
Well, I'll tell you what, it has to do with my review tonight, actually.
All right.
And I'll
Wow.
explain when that comes up. Because
All right.
otherwise I was like, no, I can't wear the vest tonight. I was like, no, wait. But then earlier today, I was thinking, man, I wish I would have took time to go look for an actual Marty McFly shirt.
Yeah.
The suspense is building on this episode. I can feel it now.
1.21 gigawatts.
Well, I'm kind of working on the Doc Brown.
Yeah, you are.
Except I moved all my hair down. But anyway.
And hey, they just released the new DeLorean too.
Oh,
It's $100,000, but
Jennifer, can we talk? And Jennifer says, I need him a few more years. You hear the clock ticking now, Eric. But anyway,
10 seconds to midnight, sir. That's what that means.
That's right. And Sarah says, ooh, Germany has the best goth scene ever. Bands included. Where's my teleporter? I don't know. I'll pick you up in my TARDIS 30 minutes ago. Okay?
A German teleporter would be Nightcrawler.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Back on the rails.
Qu'est-ce que c'est rails?
That wasn't a rail. That was just a railroad spike.
That's right. So we run barefoot through the minefield. So anyway, let's start
Go ahead.
Hey, that was my man. Anyway, so I guess, screw the interview, screw the reviews. Anyway, we're having too much fun. But anyway, let's have some more fun, and we'll have Brian Rodman give us a wonderful reviews. In fact, today is the audio-visual part of our show.
Yeah.
So let's see if the visual part of it will work. So anyway, I'll take your cues from you, Brian Rodman.
All right. Well, first, I really want to share something really cool. So I have talked about the movie Psycho Gorman a few times in the last 6 months. It was one of my favorite movies. It didn't come out in 2021. I think it came out in 2020. But I watched it in 2021. It was one of my favorite movies of the whole year. It was in my top 3, actually. And they recently, if you haven't seen it, it's on Shudder, and it is ridiculously awesome. But I got some action figures, talking about toys, of the main antagonist, Pandora, and Psycho Gorman himself. And they came in. Here's Psycho Gorman with his human meat sword, as one has. And this is Pandora, who is one of the guardians of the universe and is sent to hunt down Psycho Gorman, who is in a who is on Earth, has been unleashed on Earth, and is being controlled by a 9-year-old girl. And it is hilarious. It's probably one of it's best described as the most violent episode of Power Rangers you would ever watch. I think that's fair. But these came in today, and I couldn't be more happy. It comes with a nice little, stand set. It came with some cool stickers as well. So yeah, pretty stoked about that. But tonight, so I reviewed issue 1 of a book called We Have Demons a few episodes ago. It was probably a couple months ago, and it is by Greg Capullo. It's a Comixology original. It's Greg Capullo, Scott Snyder, teamed up again to do this brand new original series. And right now it's they've done a short run as book 1, and it's the first 3 issues. And I got to say, it's fantastic. It is so much fun. It really rewrites its own creation myth. And it plays on pretty much every religion, but it creates something completely new, very creative, a lot of fun, and really, really violent. So if you enjoyed Greg Capullo's run on Spawn as the artist on Spawn, you're going to love this artwork, and you'll see what I mean in just a few minutes. Just to get the credits out of the way, though, to highlight these wonderful artists and creators. Scott Snyder is the writer. Greg Capullo is pencils. Jonathan Glapion is the inker. Dave McCaig does coloring, and Tom Napolitano is the letterer. And of course, the cover was by all of the artists that were just named. I gotta say, the first issue really had me interested. It had me hooked. Brian, if you want to put up the first image.
I certainly do.
So here is where we really start getting a glimpse of the story of how creation was made, and you see the blue. It's kind of like, it's almost scientifically explained. The blue is a kind of like an atom, a material called a halo, and the red is a negative energy called horn, and they are both essentially being released all over the universe. And horn starts showing up on Earth quite a bit more than halo, but halo, every now and then, halo will drop some meteorites, and it, you know, essentially turns everything around it into something good. And when it first hit the Earth, that's where you started getting spots that where a lot of the myths of like Atlantis or the Fountain of Youth or Eden, that kind of stuff started. Those stories came from, in this series, came from pieces of the halo material that creates life and creates beauty. And horn infected humanity. And so this whole comic is really like it's almost an explanation of the problem of evil, which I've talked about before on this podcast and in Dastardly Dingoes. And from a Christian perspective, it's just so fascinating how Scott Snyder just really reimagined this topic. It's so like, I mean, it's almost like you feel like this could be real. It's so interesting. So you can go to the next one, Brian.
Right.
But essentially, the story continues with our main character, who's her father was, it turns out, to be an agent of Halo. And he was one of the top agents of Halo. It's him that you see there at the bottom as a younger man, and a demon that he actually was able to turn into one of the good guys, and also join the Warriors of Halo. So you kind of get a little bit of a superhero vibe. It's kind of funny that it's also brought up that, you know, like, why do you wear tights? You know, what's with the tights? And they're laced with silver, which allows the halo to be more powerful. So I thought that was just a really cool one-off little explanation as to why they're dressed in tights. But you can go to the next one, Brian. But this guy is Gus, and Gus is the demon that her father changed. And this was honestly, this was the part of the story that I kind of just want to focus on in the review. It's honestly, like, in all seriousness, it's so beautiful. Like, he was an ancient human, kind of back right after the Neanderthals, and he was like a leader in his tribe and a really good guy. And then he gets infected by Horn, and he becomes a demon, and he's caught by, and he gets frozen in the ice, kind of like a Captain America thing, but he's evil. And he gets frozen in the ice, and years later, I mean millennia later, he is found by Halo, and her father is the one who finds him and convinces everyone else to just keep him in a cage for now, because he wants to try to turn him, because he believes that everyone has Halo in them. And so what he does is he creates this, as you can see right there on his forehead. It is a literal Halo band that he puts on his forehead, and it injects Halo into him. So as long as he wears that, he is himself again, before he was turned into a demon, and with, of course, the powers of the Halo material. And so you can go to the next one, Brian. And so you know, he did in the first issue very early on, the father dies, and Gus takes on the role of essentially her father. You can see down there at the bottom, you know, she's really struggling through training. She's not doing very well because the whole thing is based on faith. Halo responds to the faith that you have in something that is greater than yourself. And you know that it's funny at one point she's talking about like just random stupid things, and even in this panel you could see like in the
Coffee.
second she's just saying like coffee, work, things, whatever, just work. She's stabbing this demon as she's saying these random things that could potentially bring her faith, and it's so funny. And of course none of it works, and I don't want to spoil it. Later on, she does find faith in something greater than herself, and it's in a very big, just kind of heartbreaking moment in the book, in issue 2. And there's only 3 issues. You can go to the next one, Brian. There's only 3 issues of this, and I gotta say, it doesn't feel like 3 issues. It feels like you have read an entire 12 issue arc by the end of this, because of how well they do the character development. You care immediately about all these characters. Snyder is a genius when it comes to character development, and he pulls no punches at all in character development, in theme, and great dialogue, and just wonderful twists that throughout the book I laughed out loud multiple times. It was hilarious. I also got really mad at one of the twists because it was that good. And as you can see, I just kind of wanted to kind of go back and show you right here, to top it all off, her father, who is this agent of Halo, who, you know, was the secret guardian of the Earth, trying to, you know, destroy these demons who were infected by Horn, and trying to, they're on a quest to find more Halo to fuel their swords that they use to kill the demons. And this whole time, he's a pastor. And my favorite part about him being a pastor is his slogan is, and you can see it in the second panel, "Give evil the finger." And that is a theme throughout the entire book series. And the very last page is a wonderful tribute to this message. Overall, that's all, Brian. You can go ahead and take it down. Overall, it's a great series. It's a Comixology exclusive, so you can only get it through there. It's not very expensive right now. They've only got the first 3 issues, but it's a concise story, and it even offers a bit of like a challenge to you as the reader at the end, which I really, really like. So 10 out of 10. Great set of books. Wonderful reading experience. I'm actually going to read it again probably this week because I loved it that much. So go to Comixology. I know it's a bit of a hassle right now. It's a bit of a mess. People are hating on it. Screw all that. Go to Comixology and read these stories, because it's worth going there and doing, because my goodness, you're going to love this book, especially if you like either one of those writers, or if you just like dark fantasy that has some humor in it. You're going to absolutely love this series. So that's my review for this week.
Excellent. That does sound good.
Thank you. Gentlemen, you spoiled me.
Son, give evil the middle finger. I mean, or the finger. That's a sure idea right there.
It is. It's
like
awesome, man. I love it.
That is cool. That is
and it
very
keeps
cool.
coming up too in really creative and fun ways.
Yes. And
like for one, this isn't really a spoiler. Sorry, Brian. For one, all the agents of Halo all have different blades that has the Halo in it, and the one that her father made for her is whenever she uses her middle finger, the blade pops out. Which I love that. It's just so cool.
That's hilarious. I love it too. And we want to stress this is not related to the video game, correct? There's no similarity.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. because other people are messing that up. Anyway, Cindy Cap says, "Go Nightcrawler, go!" And JD Smith, digital artist, says, "Don't ever say we're going to have a good time," and then followed up with Brian Rodman has a review.
Ouch!
Oh,
Dang!
damn!
Who is
JD.
this guy?
Be nice. Be
It's
nice.
still a
JD.
work in progress, but I'm painting on him now.
That's right. There we go. Hold on.
Little bitty Nightcrawler.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
I still got a lot of paint to do, but I did. Yeah.
That is
He's
very
tiny.
is that Chad?
That
What?
must be.
Oh.
Yes, Chad. It must be Chad. He's come in here under a different
I'll
name.
say
than
this.
most do.
Hey, JD Smith, I'll say this, man. You keep that up. That's a good way to get out. So,
Yep, that
Yep.
is. So be nice around here. And Carl Wilson said, "Ted, I'm drinking the Florida Cana that Christine recommended." And there we go. And we're not going to read the next comment because we promised we're not going to talk about what's happening right now in the news.
Yeah.
So that's why we're ignoring it, JD. But thank you. And right, Ted, says Sarah, I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't create replicas of those Playmates. They could have been lucrative now that I think about it. Not when they're
No, don't go there, Brian. Don't go.
I'm trying to be good.
Don't do it.
I'm trying to be good.
Let's go get way off topic. You start talking about replicas.
Again,
I'm sorry. I was distracted for a moment. Yes, Joe.
There is no rail, so
That's right. And
Plow
we'll
on.
leave it to Carl to help us off the rails here. I'd order a Barbie Benton replica right now. I fault you not for your taste. And shocked they didn't create replicas of Barbie-sized collectibles. Interesting anyway. And Eric Hawkins, who we know and love and adore, says, Carl, you're going to have to explain to 90% of the room who Barbie Benton is now. Not me, though, I know. I mean, I know who Barbie Benton is. Joe, do you?
Mhm.
Okay. Brian, do you?
No.
Okay. Fine. Anyway, we're
She
not
was a
gonna...
playmate from the 70s.
yes,
70s, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
one
early
of
70s.
the more popular
and,
ones too.
yeah, Hefner's Main Squeeze through most of the 70s.
Yeah.
Went on to she's actually a very good actress and very good singer. She was on Hee Haw for years as one of the Hee Haw honeys.
Oh, she was. That's right. Yeah, I forgot about
see.
that.
Mhm.
You think I watched that show for the music or the jokes? Go on. Anyway,
He
for the
doesn't
Daisy
watch for the
Dukes
toss to Conway Twitty.
And Minnie Pearl.
and Nate Pearl.
Yeah.
It's true. There was some good music and some funny stuff on there. You know,
Grandpa
so.
Joe.
Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
Hey, Grandpa, what's for supper? Puts his head through the window and everything. That was great. He
Mhm.
do the same joke every week, and I laugh just as loud all the time. And Lissy says, I really like that panel with the snake about to bite.
yeah.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Mhm.
And haha, Eric, those who know Barbie, they will understand. Oh, if only I did. I've seen pictures of her. And she looks today.
She was in Playboy. Everybody
Yeah.
has.
No, not those, Eric. I trod the higher path now. I do everything digitally. Anyway, no, but no, I saw a picture of her. I Googled. Some article came up about her. One of those ads that pop up on Facebook. Shut up, Eric. And get through
I just happened to Google Barbie Benton one day and there
No.
was pictures.
And then articles begin coming up. Yeah. Mhm.
No, I keep getting those ads on Facebook for this thing. Watch all the TV stars that everyone on their show hated them. And it's these stupid info dump things that I cannot resist. And one of them mentioned Barbie Benton, and I thought, well, I haven't thought about her in years. And so I looked her up, and I did a Google search for Barbie Benton today. Okay, prepared for disappointment. I was not disappointed. She's kind of shut up, Eric. She's kind of going the Julie Newmar route. Still looking healthy for a girl her age. Yeah. So anyway, now as I try to get myself out of it, and JD Digital Artist says, I kid Brian Rodman, I like your smoke pipe.
Yeah. Shut up.
Wow.
Mr. Rodman will be joining the diplomatic corps this coming Monday. And Paul Bush, good evening all. Paul, how are you? And I'll ask for you. Where's nebulizer number 2?
Up your butt.
Wow.
Oh, he's
Someone's got a little attitude tonight.
I think so. After he was playing with the human meat sword down
Yeah,
there.
it's my human meat sword.
That's what we're calling it now. And became Carl and Packs a Punch. And Barbie Benton. Yes, great articles. Yeah. I read for the cartoons. Actually, I love the cartoons in Playboy back in the day.
Gahan Wilson.
Gahan Wilson. He did my absolute favorite. I've mentioned it before on the morning show. My absolute favorite cartoon. It's a full-page, full-color thing by Gahan Wilson. It shows this parade, and there's this giant float with a giant neon zero on top. And there's neon zeros festooned across every side of this thing. And it's being, huzzah, huzzah by all these guys wearing these giant robes with giant sequin zeros on them and headdresses with zeros on them. And there's zeros on the back of their gloves. And this guy walks up to one of the cult members and goes, "Is nothing sacred?" I think it's one of the funniest things ever. And I can see Mr. Rodman can barely contain his laughter. I can see, yeah. So,
there you go.
See, that's more like it. See, that's the hilarity we expect from this show. But anyway, and wow, this episode went dark. Oh yeah, we're trying not to. But anyway, we're trying to keep it moving. And speaking of moving, let's move over to Jody McFee. Now this is your last chance.
No. It's clear. It's clear. I mean, I think JD is going to be upset because this is that's not gonna work for tonight. Yeah. So we're going to do
5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, and give evil the finger. 1. Okay. And that's what we're doing tonight. All right. And very good artists. And let's see, Alberto Vargas' career was safe thanks to Playboy. That's true. If you ever see the Cars' second album, Candy L, he did the cover for that. More information you can't use.
Yes, it is now officially time for Saturday Morning Adventures, G.I. Joe #1.
Yay!
Brought to you by your favorite show, G.I. Joe.
Playboy After Dark.
This one was written by Eric Burnham, arts by Dan Sloan, and Luis Antonio Delgado did the colors.
It's a very long musical number.
The story begins when we in a layer of Cobra, where Cobra Commander holds a fated object, and that object was of his desires, and he opens it up to find that it is the lamp of Aladdin. And they're up here, it's like, have mercy, what are we going to do with the lamp of Aladdin? So he opens up, a genie pops out, and he makes his wish. I want ultimate power. Only to find out that the genie cannot grant him that because he cannot affect people's minds or their will or give them any type of power that's beyond his own. So as he was trying to figure out what to do, Destro comes up to him and whispers something to him. So he now wished for all the android battle troopers to become more powerful than what they are, and they became giant android troopers. So now, with that being done, he sends one of them to the pit, and the pit is up under attack by one of these monsters. So the pit is up under attack by one of these giant android troopers. Hold on, let me get rid of this green screen because that's going to mess me up, not being able to see everything right. There, much better. So now the pit is being attacked. All hands on deck, and we got our classic, ever-loving Yo Joe as they go and battle the giant android trooper. And they pretty much sent everything after it. They couldn't figure out what to do with it because it was staving off all their attacks until Ace had an idea. And Ace's idea is like, you know what? When you got something that's that big, the best thing you could do is cut them off at the leg. So he he aims his Sky Striker at the knee, kaboom! Takes the android trooper leg off, and they win the day. So now, back at Cobra headquarters, Cobra Commander sees what's going on, and he kind of blamed Destro about his failure, and then the genie up here tried to trick Cobra Commander. It's like, do you want to improve on the design where it cannot be defeated? And he was like, at first he was about to say yes, but then he said, no, you're trying to trick me to use up my 3 wishes too quickly. And then that's when the Baron stepped in, and it's like, hey, we can make modifications now since they're that big where we could, limit their weak points like they saw here. And then they talked about adding like a force field and everything, and Cobra Commander, with the genie standing behind him, was like, yes, let's go ahead with that idea now. So back at Joe headquarters, Sci-Fi, if you can remember Sci-Fi, one of their computer technicians and everything, back at the pit, where Duke comes in the room, and Duke, Sci-Fi is telling Duke, hey, there's nothing unique about this battle android trooper. It's just bigger for some reason, and they couldn't figure out why it was bigger. And then out of nowhere, here comes Alpine, and Alpine is saying, hey, we got another problem. Cobra has made another ultimatum, and the Cobra Commander is there, and they're there with a whole bunch of his takes and what they call the Mega Bat. So this is the new improvement, and it's like the Ace is there, it's like, okay, we got to go through this again. It's like, yeah, at least we know that we know its weak points, this, that, and the other. This should not take that long of a job to fight Cobra off. So Cobra decides to attack. Here comes the Mega Bat into play. G.I. Joe scrambles to take care of things here. And they're trying to figure out a bigger game plan to deal with everything in one fell swoop. And there they go again with Yo Joe. So now since they got their game, they got their game plan in effect here. And like the 80s TV show, we got our PSA for today, and we're going to go through this PSA, and it's called G.I. Joe, something you need to know. And the kid was up here talking about, oh, they think I'm stupid. I'm going to tell how everybody is stupid, this, that, and the other. I'm going to go out here on the computer and and just go off. We'll go off with everybody. They'll see, and then all of a sudden the computer goes offline, and there's Mainframe, giving him the moral lesson about not going out there to be an internet bully and everything.
Hey, J.D. Smith, you listening up, buddy?
And knowing's half the battle.
That's right.
Be a bully, everything. Not to be a bully and everything. And the kid was like, you're right, Mainframe. And that's I wish they would have said it.
And knowing is half the battle.
Is half the battle. It's there.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Awesome.
We get it in focus and say, and knowing it's half the battle. And then we get the G.I. Joe. And that's the
I am so loving this.
Yes.
That's great.
overall, it's like I was telling Eric, I was suspecting something, akin to this, to what we got in the cartoons, but a little bit more serious. But this is kind of goofy. And I wish it was kind of like the goofiness that was in specific episodes. We were naming like Here Comes the Viper, Something Happened in Springfield, those type of episodes from G.I. Joe where it was serious, but yet it was fun and funny. This comes off more like the Games Master. It's like, where are they coming up with a story like this? Why would they go after Aladdin's lamp and have a genie there helping Cobra? That just doesn't make any sense. But it led to what I see it could be some fun later on down the line, depending on where they go with it after the story arc. However, for issue number
Depending
one,
how far they get to go.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know with IDW books. You never know. But overall, I have to, and don't take my grade on this book as being overly harsh, but it's more along the lines, I don't know where they're going to go with this. And so far for issue number one, I have to give this a 5 out of 10.
Really?
It gives you those good feels about the old 80s cartoon, but you don't know where it's going to go because it starts off with something outlandish with Aladdin's, lamp. It's like, where are you going with this? This is not like the normal Cobra plot from the TV show. This is just like, oh, what if he got 3 wishes? Okay, we only saw 1 wish so far, so we know we're going to have at least 2 to 3 issues. What's going to happen after that? I never know. You never know.
But did it hook you enough to want to get the second one?
I want to see what's going on just out of my own morbid curiosity. But if I have to read this as a non-fan of G.I. Joe, I wouldn't say it did. This is, to me, it's more of like a nostalgia trip, more so than anything else. It felt more like a nostalgia trip. But I could tell you that the cartoon had more memorable episodes, like Red Rocket's Glare, how pretty much Flint shot the nose cone off of a live rocket to save Roadblock. And you're up here, it's like, I'll save you, Roadblock, my buddy. He shot a missile with another missile. And there was no splatter damage. I mean, it's like, how are you going to save Roadblock, your buddy, by shooting another live missile on a live rocket? He's dead. You killed your friend. But
hey, Joe, I have a question.
Yeah.
I saw Alpine in there, but I didn't see Bazooka. Is Bazooka in there?
No, not in this issue.
Because they were, they were inseparable in the cartoon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now you understand why I was like 5 out of 10. It's like it gave me those nods, but
Giant bat.
Yes. Giant bat. We got 50-foot bat. What you got? We got Sky Striker to the knee. Ha! We win. Yeah.
Now the Sky Striker should have shot a cable around it and spun around it like an AT-AT.
No, they didn't want to steal from Star Wars, but that would have been funny too. Would it even be even more funny if they did that like an AT-AT and the bat just opened up his legs and broke apart? We lost Clyde.
Well, I think he might be in that storm too. So
yeah. But that's my rating for it. 5 out of 10. So take it with a grain of salt. It's not a bad comic. It's just that I feel that this is more of a nostalgia trip with no idea where it's going to go.
Yeah. I loved the the PSA type stuff at the end. That was really cool. But yeah, the genie, like the lamp and the genie, that just doesn't really seem like G.I. Joe to me.
It doesn't.
Yeah, that's really strange.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of borderline for me because as we were mentioning, we were talking before the show. It was kind of weird. The show could get pretty weird sometimes.
Mm-hmm. The cartoon show did get weird. Again, it had some serious things about it, and then it had some very, very goofiness, like Cobra with the one virus that they had, that the only thing that could kill it was Appleseed, so they sent that dramatic virus through an orchard to kill it.
It was the 80s.
You just can't make up stuff like that with G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. But
then they had some really dark episodes too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, you have fun stuff like, Cobra's going to create this heavy metal band called Cold Slither, and we're going to take over the world by hypnosis through music.
Subliminal messages.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the kind of cutting edge stuff we need nowadays. That kind of entertainment, I tell you. That's great. That's great. But anyway, thank you very much, Joe.
Yes.
Much appreciated. It was
Indeed,
excellent, sir. Excellent. And we have some comments here. Frog G, it was good to see you this morning on Brian Rodman's, or not Brian Rodman, excuse me, Luke Stone's new show. Luke Stone's new show with our own Nicholas Anthony Tockard on there. Please check that out. It was a really good episode. But anyway, hail to you, my friend. Good to see you. And then, hey, Frog. And then Cindy gets her popcorn ready. And Sarah couldn't concentrate with the volume of that music. I caught some of what being said. Then you have to watch this show over and over and over from the beginning. All right. And the other half of the battle is red and blue lasers. There we go. There we go.
That doesn't hit anybody except for
Right.
in the movie once.
Exactly. Back in the days when the thing couldn't even make a fist. That was great. And Sarah says, have a great night. Got about earlier than usual this evening. Love you guys. Love you too, Sarah. Mwah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your naughtiness. We love you for it. And have a great night. So, anyway. Again, thank you very much, Joe. And so I think, although I've got everybody out, well, let's see, hold on. I'll get everybody in the proper order here. Hold on a second. This takes a moment here. All right. Thank you, Mr. Director. Anyway, otherwise I won't be able to keep. Well, then let's cut to the Pro Slayer himself, Mr. Eric S. Hawkins. Eric.
Hello.
Hello.
Before I start off, there's an Easter candy I despise with all my heart.
Please say Peeps.
But my wife loves this brand.
Please say Peeps.
And I saw these and I bought them. And I tried one. It was
Please
disgusting.
say Peeps.
Yep.
They are Peeps, but
Yep.
these are the Peeps Brian would eat.
Oh.
Donut chop coffee flavored.
Huh.
And they taste like coffee, grounds, and sugar.
Oh, my God. That's breakfast for me.
I hate those things with a passion.
Now, I saw you had a hole cut in that. Was that because you ate one from there? Or do you do like me and cut that slit in it and let them dry out for a month or two?
You're one of those people, aren't you? Oh, boy.
I've been totally one of those
I've had so many
more
people
than
say,
once.
well, they're better when they're stale. I'm like, stale? You gotta open them up,
You know what,
sit out
those-
for a week.
those
It's
are crunchy.
it's a bottle of wine, and you got to take the cork out and let it breathe. It's
those people like candy corn, don't they?
Yeah, oh,
It's okay.
As a matter of fact, Brian.
I knew it.
my granddaughters came by, and they're here right now. But the first thing Nora noticed on the counter was some Peeps, some purple Peeps, and these, and she thought these were chocolate. So she opened it, bit one, threw it away.
Mhm.
Then I was like, "Well, it's open."
That's the proper
I-
response. Yeah.
I like coffee. I'm like, oh, well, it tastes like coffee, but it's still a peep in coffee. And then Jennifer just tried one a few minutes ago, and she didn't like it either. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I guess I'll let them sit out and get better with age.
You might see me in a month. Just leave that thing open.
Oh, I'll put them in the post office. I'll send them out to you. They should be nice and ripe when they get there.
Just shave them off. They're good.
Yeah, you'll just see Brian K. Morris coming down your chimney and stealing your Peeps and going back up.
Hey, but if you are a lover of Peeps, which I don't know why anyone would be, just eat a spoonful of sugar.
Yeah.
I like to coat my
I mean,
sugar.
they have hot tamale flavor now. They got Hawaiian punch. They got any flavor you can think of now. I mean, since they were they not out last year is what it was, I think. They have doubled down this year with the flavors.
Ugh. Gross.
Mm.
Yeah, my my New Testament professor at seminary said that he loved Peeps so much that he said that was clearly the manna from heaven that the Hebrews got, and I was like, those poor Hebrews.
No wonder they complained. Yeah.
Right? No wonder they wanted
No
to
wonder
go
they
back to
kept wandering
slavery in
around.
Egypt. Yeah.
Give us something better. Okay, so I do have a review, of course. I'm going to review a book, but first I want to talk about this book and the character in this book, which when he said, I look like I'm Marty McFly again, I was like, oh, that's fitting, because I was thinking of 1990 when I first bought this book, because it came back out, and there hadn't been a title since, I believe, 1983 was when the last Ghost Rider title was canceled. And in 90, a new Ghost Rider came out, Danny Ketch, where previously it was Johnny Blaze, which for all you out there, yeah, now isn't the first time people are taking up the mantles of other characters. It's happened before. It will happen again.
No, don't say it.
But so I loved the Ghost Rider in the 90s. I loved Danny Ketch. It helped me learn more about Johnny Blaze because, in 1990, I was, 19 years old? Yeah. So I was fairly young still. 83, I didn't buy Ghost Rider comics. I didn't buy comics. And up until Ghost Rider came out in 90, I was buying, G.I. Joe, of course, X-Men, Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, and all the other X books. So Ghost Rider was a different book for me. I mean, it was, a little supernatural, and the artist, Mark Teixeira, was amazing. I loved his ink work when he inked his own stuff. That was the best stuff when he inked his own stuff. When someone else inked it, it wasn't that good. But man, it was just so gritty and dirty, which I loved. And eventually, I stopped getting it. It just wasn't as good. And from what I've read in reviews recently, a lot of people thought that the book just kind of dropped off and got a little weird. So when a new Ghost Rider came out this week, I was excited to get back into it because I hadn't read a Ghost Rider comic in a long time, even though I know there's been at least 2 other iterations after Danny Ketch. One was a female, and the other one rode a Charger, but I can't remember his name. But instead of the motorcycle, he had the Charger, which I thought was kind of cool, but I didn't read it anyway. So this one came out this week, and this one has Johnny Blaze in it, not Danny Ketch, which Danny Ketch is my Ghost Rider. Even though he's really the 3rd Ghost Rider. Isn't that right, Clyde?
I think so.
Yes, the original was Carter Slade.
Carter Slade.
Who was, they rebranded him the Knight Rider after they brought Johnny Blaze into the picture.
David Hasselhoff?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But so I picked this up, and this is a thick book, and it is by, I had to find the credits because only the last names are in the front, and the credits are way in the back here. Benjamin Percy is the writer. Corey Smith is the artist, with colors by Brian Valenza, and Travis Lanham is the letterer. Now, as soon as I opened this book, after the first couple of pages, the vibe I got from it was Moon Knight meets WandaVision.
Interesting.
Johnny Blaze is in therapy, just like Moon Knight's in therapy. Court-ordered therapy. And he's seeing things. He's taking drugs not to see things, but he sees all kinds of weird things. And he doesn't actually recall being Ghost Rider. He doesn't, but his therapist tells him, you need, monsters are not real. You need to repeat this to yourself. So he goes home to his family. Apparently he's married to Roxanne now. If that was his, I don't know if they actually got married in the comics or not. I don't know about that. I know in the movie, that was his girlfriend, of course. And they have kids. And apparently Johnny had been in a motorcycle accident. Imagine that. And so he had some brain trauma and a lot of broken bones and stuff. So I don't know if that's what caused the court order therapy, but he's got some demons, obviously, because, he is Ghost Rider. And the art's okay. The art's not spectacular, but it fits the book. It's okay. I would rather see something like the artist that was doing the that Marvel Legends title recently, all the painted looking stuff. What was that? Fantasy, Amazing Fantasy. I think that would be a better fit for it because I like that style art. Well, apparently S.H.I.E.L.D. is also involved in this because apparently the S.H.I.E.L.D. is ex-agents are working with the FBI because they got nowhere else to go. But another character shows up and starts showing Johnny that things aren't quite what they seem to be. And he starts seeing demons everywhere. He starts seeing demons in his therapist. He's telling his therapist about his wife getting a little frisky with him. And she's like, and tell me more. And then the next thing you know, he's seeing her as a demon. So horny demons.
I'm
no
running out right
horses.
now and buying one.
Not a single skeleton horse, though.
Oh.
So Johnny is all this time since his accident and this therapy, he's been drinking heavily and taking his drugs to not see demons and stuff. But then this mystery character shows up at the door and basically telling him that nobody in town's real. They're all demons. And man, there's some freaky looking demons in here. That's why I wish there was been more of a painterly style. I think it would look so much cooler. When you find out that Ghost Rider's been imprisoned, and now Ghost Rider has been let loose, and he realizes he's been imprisoned, and he wants to know who did this. And he is really pissed. And he's going to hunt down whoever did this. And you don't get to see Ghost Rider until the last few pages of the book. But the one thing I noticed, I know Clyde read this book too.
Mhm.
This is not Johnny's motorcycle. This is
No.
Danny Ketch's motorcycle.
Yep.
I noticed that right away when I saw that. I was like, that's. And the spirit that is possessing, I guess, Johnny is different than the one that possesses Danny. So I'm wondering if maybe there's some kind of joint spirit possession here or something. But someone had locked up Ghost Rider. He doesn't know who, but he's escaped, and he's going to find out who the hell locked him up. And that's how this series kicks off. And you find out everybody in the town was a freaking or not zombie, but a demon. Every single one of them, even his wife. And he decides that and guts her right in the middle of the book.
All right.
That's sending the right message.
Oh yeah, he even's got a little snick like a Wolverine.
Like Wolverine?
Yeah.
Cut your gut open. I wasn't sure when I was like, this is too much like WandaVision. It's a fake town setting and all this. That's the vibe I was getting. Then the therapy. I wasn't sure halfway through the book, and then it just started to grow on me a little more. Because in the 90s, I was a huge Ghost Rider fan. I loved Ghost Rider. I don't know if it's good for someone to pick up that doesn't know anything about Ghost Rider. Because there's not really a lot to tell you what's going on in the past, how he became Ghost Rider. That's not here. Maybe it'll be in the next couple of issues or something like that. But that I would say that's a takeaway from it. But I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
It's pretty good.
Nice. Yeah. Would you say because like the Moon Knight #1 that came out, what was it, late last year?
Mm-hmm.
That didn't really explain his origins or anything either. That kind of picked up, right? Am I remembering?
There was hints of it, if I remember correctly. There was hints, but not really deep into it. And you've learned throughout the 6 issues, 7 issues about that.
6 issues, I think.
Yeah, he tells more and more about, and there's stuff I didn't know about Moon Knight, like about his father. I didn't know a lot of stuff about his father and stuff like that. They've been telling a lot of his history in that. I'm hoping this goes that same route, and you learn more and more about Johnny Blaze and Zarathos. Zarathos is the demon that possesses him.
Yeah.
Zarathos, yeah.
You don't have to, for a new reader, they don't have to worry about a lot of continuity right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
So in that way,
Ghost Rider's all over the place.
Yeah.
You start looking at the history of Ghost Rider.
So in that way, it's simplified, but I don't know whether it'll be enough to hook them without it either. So.
Yeah.
Understood.
Did they mention about Wilson Slade at all?
No.
Oh, for those who don't know, that was the very first Ghost Rider, the one that had the horse.
Carter.
Yeah.
Carter Slade.
Yeah, that was old Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I giggled in the theater when that name was uttered.
Oh,
that is the best scene in that movie.
When they're riding across the desert.
Yeah.
Ghost Riders in the sky.
Oh, yeah.
Can you keep up?
That was awesome.
In the second movie, the best scene is when the Ghost Riders pee in fire.
I kind of liked when he got
a few nights like that.
And that's not a movie that has a lot of good parts, but I kind of liked where he took, any vehicle, any conveyance can become his ghostly ride. And what is it, like a giant earth mover he gets into it? It lights up and flames on. I'm like, yes, that's pretty cool. But
my favorite part was Idris Elba, just because I have a man crush on him. He was fantastic in that movie. He made it worth watching for me.
There you go.
That's fair enough.
Honestly, the obscure sequels, my favorite is the Punisher sequel. That had Jigsaw as the villain. Hey, look, I totally understand if you hate it.
You like X-Men 3 too, don't you?
No, I don't.
And Spider-Man 3.
Actually, I like Spider-Man 3. I hate X3.
Wait, you like Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, I think it's fun. I hate Topher Grace's Venom, but I love
Topher Grace, but Eddie Brock.
He's terrible as Eddie Brock. No,
he's not Eddie Brock at all.
No,
and I think they should have left him out of it because you had a good Sandman story that fell by the wayside because of it.
Now here, look, I don't think Spider-Man 3 is a good movie, but I like it. It is fun, if only for the ridiculous dance that he does in the movie. that just made my heart happy. That he
For
turned
the
in-
memes
I loved because back then I don't know. I remember watching. I had just gotten into Evil Dead, and like I was like, Spider-Man 1 and 2 don't really feel like the quirky, weird Sam Raimi movies. And then the third one happened, and I was just like, this is golden. This is so bad, and I love it. I love that the symbiote turned him into a weird emo. It's just so dumb, but I love it.
Well,
I watch it like a Batman and Robin. It's a good time.
No.
Like a lot of other superhero movies, they get to a point where they want to put a dozen villains in it, and there's just too many villains at one time.
Too much. Way too much.
Yeah, it doesn't give the characters enough room to breathe. Really,
No,
you can't really examine them that well. So, of course, then again, you talk about Batman and Robin. That was one of the few times I think it worked, because everything after a certain point you become numb to the oddness.
I was a kid when I saw it in the theaters, and then I went through a period like with everyone else. I hated it, and then recently, in the last during the pandemic, I revisited it. And I don't know, I actually prefer it over Batman Forever because it's so ridiculous. It is a great predecessor to the 66 show.
Yeah.
It really, really is. And if you look at it from that perspective, instead of following in Keaton's footsteps, it is a lot of fun. And I got to tell you, I watch it and the joy. Though. Yes, it's so stupid.
That was the only scene that got me. That's the one scene I still can't reconcile.
Because I could totally see Adam West doing that too. You know what I mean? Like I could see that kind of tongue-in-cheek shtick back. Like I really can. Yeah. And did it work? No, not at all. It destroyed the Batman franchise for a while. But looking back now that, we've gotten the Nolan movies, we've got Ben Affleck's Batman, we've got the Batman that's essentially 7 with Batman. And like, we've made up for it now. And I can look back and just see Arnold Schwarzenegger having the time of his life.
Bat nipples and giant bat cod pieces did not help it either.
I mean, Joel Schumacher liked those things. So,
yes.
I understand.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and he was, and following. I hate to make any sort of similes, but he was just doing what he was told by the Warner Board. They make it like the 60s series. That was successful.
Oh yeah. And with the nipples, actually, the real reason was he wanted it to look like gladiator armor.
Right.
It just didn't work. It just looks silly instead of cool. So
because nipples are always cool.
Batman in the 60, what was
I couldn't agree more.
7 or 68 movie with the bomb above his head running through the crowd.
Oh yes.
What's the quote from that scene again?
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Yes. And if you like the Batman 66 series, be sure to pick this up from Crazy 8 Books and Becky Books, especially this one, because I have an essay in it, and I want the editors to look upon me fondly. Available now on Amazon, including the third book. And no, we didn't rehearse this, as you can tell. But we also have, where did I put it? Oh, yes, brand new one. Just came out. Oof, boff, splat. And I have an essay in there, too, where we wrap up the third series of Batman. So
I like that you said the very third.
The very third, yes.
I like that.
Thank you. I learned to talk from Batman, from my native my native country. So anyway, Joe, that was awesome. Or it was Eric. Eric was awesome. We all were awesome. I'm just having fun with everyone.
Oh, is it my turn? Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. And now here's Eric with a positive review of Coffee Peeps.
And now we'll review Cross the Bear, number 4.
Monkey meat.
Monkey meat. Monkey meat.
Monkey meat. Monkey meat. Monkey meat.
I don't know what I did with it.
Oh no!
We've lost the monkey meat.
I think there's a surgical procedure for that now. Anyway, let's see. Frog G, hail Frog G, tickle the algorithm, smash the like, and dingle the bells and subscribe. Good advice for all of you. And Lissy says, not the peeps, not the coffee flavored peeps. And
hey, they are not good. And I love coffee, but it's like eating coffee grounds. You know, when you get the coffee grounds in your mouth by accident because there's some filter through it, it's like, on top of sugar, it's like, ooh.
No, I don't, Eric, because I know how to make coffee.
Brian's taking some of that frustration.
Eric's like, where's JD Smith?
Where's JD Smith?
JD!
He's asking for it. Eric.
Sick him!
Yeah, and Ben has to agree, of course. And hey, I love candy corn, says Lizzie, but peeps are gross. They're not if you let them age for about 6 months.
Nothing other than alcohol should have.
Or sauerkraut.
Yeah,
or sauerkraut.
Okay,
or dry aged steak.
I will eat a 6-month-old Twinkie.
Well, that's because Twinkies are going to outlast us all.
Yeah, they'll outlast the wrapper they're in.
Yeah.
So, and peeps, that's a no from me. More for me then. Excellent. And peeps are candy of the devil. Well, why do you think they're so delicious then? So they were looking for the land of sugar Canaan. That's good. And Jenda wants to know how's the Kana. And hello, beautiful Keisha Acuff. Mwah. Glad to see you here as always. And delicious, Ted. I even drank some straight. And I'll be drinking more of it straight after seeing this episode. You're welcome, Carl. And no doubt they are enablers. That's us. Guilty as charged. And just watch the movie Ghost Rider, Hawkins, for the accurate history.
The movie's actually close, except for his dad was already dead. That's not who he made the deal with. It was Roxanne's dad. He made the deal with him.
Crash.
Crash. Yeah.
That's right. And peeing fire, he should see a doctor about that. Carl
Bend over and cough, Mr. Ryder.
That's right. Bend over and get the shot, Johnny. But anyway, hashtag bat nipples, mic drop.
Yep.
There we go. And now Carl's reaching for the rum when the other stuff wasn't enough. And peeps are best fresh out of the package, but not coffee ones, says Jennifer Hawkins.
Fresh
Jennifer,
out of the package and into the
garbage. Peeps are best still at the store.
Exactly. Well said. Well said.
They're great the day after a holiday when everyone's marked them down like 99% because they know I'm coming in and I want.
Still not worth it. Still not worth it.
Can't do it.
As a diabetic who has not been able to have regular candies and confections for many years, 50 years.
Wow.
When I look at Peeps on the shelf, it's one of the few candies that I have absolutely no desire to buy a package and try them. So thank you for that, Peeps. But otherwise,
just looking at them will make your blood sugar spike.
You know, I got to say, that's the one candy that will enrage me in the candy aisle, actually. I will hunk out and throw the candy across the room.
I'm going to get some of the hot tamale ones and send you. Actually, how many calories are in a Peep? Actually, it's only 270.
Ha! See, it's almost like diet candy.
Yeah,
2.5 Peeps per serving. Oh wait, how many carbs?
Diet candy.
Diet candy, Joe. Diet candy.
What's next? We're going to have NutraSweet and candy now.
Oh no, because cookie. No, wait a second. If we did cookie candy, didn't I get more?
Stevia.
Stevia would work, or acesulfame. That's the yellow.
Hey man, sugar-free Oreos. It's the best diet cookie I've ever had in my life. They're also like $13 a bag.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Yeah,
geek. I don't like them that much then.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thank you, Eric.
Hey, you're welcome.
So I guess it's my turn before we move up to the highlight of the show.
Right.
So. And we are no longer broadcasting on Twitch. So anyway, so we have a happy ending tonight. So anyway,
bye JD.
Bye JD. You suck.
That's right. You attack one of us, you attack us all. So anyway, with that in mind, we've got this is one of those weeks where I picked up something. I was telling the guys earlier, I like to get something new every week. I didn't see anything that really tripped my trigger except one book, and it was this one. It was from DC Comics. It came out last week, actually. It's Strange Love Stories. And there's a couple of cute stories in here. I was glad to see some talent like Stephanie Phillips, who wrote that wonderful gangster comic I reviewed last week, and Scott Eden Penciler, he's good. Wayne Foucher, and Devin Grayson did an Alfred story in here that I just, I like Devin Grayson's work from back in the 90s, but this one just didn't quite fire for me. So I'm giving this one like a 7 out of 10. Just wasn't thrilled with it. And speaking of not thrilled with it, the last 2 issues of Batman versus Bigby, the Fables crossover, it was picking up, and then now it's back to where it was. Not really a great ending. It was just pretty much a slugfest, and a rather confusingly laid out one as well. Like that. Okay.
Huh.
Try and
That's kind of confusing.
Yes, exactly. That's what I think too. And then there's this. It just did not do it for me.
I kind of liked that one though.
Well, you teach your own. It's not as good as Coffee Peeps, but anyway. This is one of the more disappointing issues, I've got to say. So I'm giving this one I'd say probably a 5 out of 10, to be honest. Whole series I would give maybe a 6, because they had a couple good issues in there that raised the average a little. But otherwise, I'm looking forward to what turns out there's going to be another 12-issue series of Fables. That I'm looking forward to, because more often than not, I do like Bill Willingham's work. I've got to do a little house cleaning here.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
I got him. Oh, and Eric already did. Thank you, Eric. Or Carl did. Thank you, gentlemen. Whoever did that, I love you. But then again, moving upward, we've got Mad Magazine with a crypto cover, and I'm not talking Bitcoin. Beautiful Kelly Frias painting on the back. The usual gang of idiots. Work from the past delivers the funny every time. This one is a 9 out of 10. As it is good, and it points out that this is the 70th anniversary. This year, 2022 is the 70th anniversary of Mad Magazine.
Wow. Well, Brian, did they at one point go on hiatus or something?
Briefly, very briefly, because this is issue 24. They sales on Mad had really gone downhill. This would have been about 4 or 5 years ago. And so what they did was they renumbered it. They got a new editor-in-chief, Bill Morrison, who created Bongo Comics for The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept the funny going. It had a lot of new talent as well as the classic creators. It was really good stuff. And then about a year and a half into Morrison's editorial reign, they got rid of him, and the magazine went pretty much reprint. But it's still funny. It's it's good to see those old strips, and it's fun to look at something that was maybe printed in the 60s or the 70s, and it's still relevant. That's hard not to like. Now, moving up a little bit more, the new issue of Action Comics. Yes, thank you very much, Carl. Much appreciated, sir. Anyway, Action Comics, we're still on War World. Little bit of promise for Superman, but I want to see Superman back. We've got Clark Kent, but we don't have Superman. I'm really looking forward to his return. It's not a bad story, though. Philip Kennedy Johnson did a super story. And the art is by Riccardo Federici. And it's not bad. It's kind of pastel. But it's not a bad story. Yeah. It's just that I'm wishing Superman would come back. Now the backup with with John Jones, the Martian Manhunter is superb.
Hmm.
It is good stuff, and it plays off of the old continuity. Not just the stuff that John Ostrander set up in the unfortunately short-lived Martian Manhunter comic series, but also stuff like back in the 60s and 50s that it harkens back to. Overall, if it were just John Jones, I'd give it a 10 out of 10, but the Superman story kind of brings it down a little. I'm giving it a 9.5. Still enjoyable, but I hope this War World thing does not last too much longer, to be honest. Now we get to the good stuff. We are about 80% of the way through Blue and Gold. This is a payoff of some characters that were introduced early on, and it's about an alien race that lays legal claim to the Earth. And they've got evidence. And we also see the return of Rip Hunter, the Time Master himself. And for those of you who didn't know, it explains why Rip Hunter is so protective of Booster Gold. This is a really exciting book. The story is great. Ryan Sook does the penciling as well as the cover and the coloring inside. Solid entertainment. This one is, for me, a 10 out of 10. And we also, this is not much of a spoiler, but the last page is not the only Blue Beetle in town. So we get him in the next couple of issues. That'll be fun. And then we got the second issue of We Ride Titans from Vault Comics, #2. And the first issue was about cities of the future have these giant walls around them because the kaiju, the giant monsters, attack them on a regular basis. But when one of them goes down because of his alcoholism, his sister is called in to take over the mecha that defends the city. And it turns out that he, or she rather, is on the outs with her parents, who, because the mecha are family owned, and they inherit them and pass them down through generations. And we find out a little bit more about the brother and sister's relationship and a new menace at the end of the book that is really, really fun. Great story. I like the story actually a lot better than I did the first one because we get a lot more interpersonal relationships. Tres Dean is the writer. Sebastian Perez is the artist. D. Cuniff is the colorist. And two letterers, Matt Kreutzer and Jim Campbell. Really, really good stuff. Clean storytelling, decent coloring, and then big things beating up other big things.
All right.
Yeah, now we're talking entertainment. And as the tagline on the back cover says, kaiju hit hard, family hits harder. Lots of great interpersonal relationship. This was a solid read. I don't think I gave the first issue a 10, but I'm definitely giving the second one a 10. This is good stuff. Very entertaining. And then one of my favorite comics, I think maybe a reaction to the headlines, but I'm liking comics now that make me laugh and make me smile. And one of the best, aside from My Bad, which we reviewed last week, is Impossible Jones. And ignore the pain of the cover. We learn more about Impossible Jones, a couple extra powers she has, such as growing another arm. And her costume repairs itself. We learn a little bit more about the mystery behind the origin of Impossible Jones, which this is the last part of it. The story the inks are by Carl Kessel, who's worked for DC and Marvel. David Hahn did the pencils. Tony Avina did the colors. And Comic Craft, who sell those wonderful fonts online, did the lettering. This is a fun book. Now this is what I really like in a book. It's got a strong sense of humor, but a serious plot with genuine dire consequences in it, and a mystery going, and all kinds of cool things happening. We see the return of Even Steven. So when he's attacked with a knife, he has to have one too. So this is just a really fun read. This is one of those desert island kind of comics, one you take with you. And this one is a solid 10 out of 10. And Scout Comics reached a #3 issue.
Yeah.
That
There you go.
alone should be something to celebrate. But definitely check this out. Ask your comic monger about this and treat yourself. And the thing is, it costs it's like, what is it? It's like $3.99. It costs the same amount as a DC or Marvel. And there's so much entertainment in here that I definitely recommend this. That was probably my pick of the week, but We Ride Titans was very close to it. So, and that's my review for today. So anyway, let's see. Here we go. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. And yes, good catch, Carl. And you got to wonder why YouTube lets people choose sign-ons like that. Yeah, I know. But kind of funny, we got rid of one guy and that shows up.
Oh, it's not funny. It's him.
Funny,
Yeah.
ironic, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. In truth, Carl. And you missed an idiot here to Ninja Genko, but you're here to make up for it, and not in a negative way. We love you, Ninja. Thank you for being here. You missed a couple reviews, but you can watch us on the rerun because we're just as tasty on the rerun, I think. So anyway, that's my review. And now we hit this the moment everyone in the world has been waiting for.
No, they've
Ever.
tuned out.
In
They're
the
already
history
gone.
of the world.
In the history of the world. And be right. Okay, definitely, Carl. Give her a hug from all of us. And the infamous bat nipple. Oh, we know when he showed up now. That's right. This show has 50% more bat nipples than any other show on the air right now. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this show. But anyway, we are here now, and we are ready to listen to Clyde Hall with rapt attention. Here we go. Mr. Clyde Hall.
Rapt attention, punctuated by snoring. I don't know.
I prefer to think of it as breathing rhythmically.
Or intently breathing.
Yes.
there you
It's
go.
power breathing.
Power breathing.
Breathing.
My review this week is going to be a Marvel book.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Somebody's got to read them.
Well, I don't read a lot of them, but Iron Fist #1 came out, and this is the Ghost Rider #1 was a higher cover price for a few more pages. This is still the $3.99 version. And also, Shang-Chi has been one of my favorite reads since it was relaunched, and I wanted to see if they could capture the same sort of lightning in the bottle with Iron Fist #1. So, Iron Fist #1, I thought it had a good cover.
Well, that's not Danny Rand. Hang on here.
I know it is not. And that's part of what I was curious about. I'm also curious to hear what my artist friends here say about the artwork for this. Now, we have some nice moments.
That's pretty.
Okay. And let's see here. Again, the splashes.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
That is nice.
I like that too. See if I can find one of the action sequences here. Yes. We get some action sequences.
Huh.
Well,
Was that Danny Rand he was facing off against?
it was.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. And then we get some nice interpersonal relationship low-key panels. No real action there, but I like the
Loki's in this?
yes.
It's a variant.
Low-key. L-O-W-K-E-Y, low-key. Conversational kind of. And also, on this, we have a whole lot of nice sound effects in
I
the.
see that.
Yeah.
Clyde, could you go back to that first page again you showed us?
Sure, absolutely.
I thought I caught a Liefeld eye up in the corner.
Oh no!
Oh.
It just
Save your
the
receipt.
quick glance. Yeah, that looks
I
like a
thought the same
Liefeld
thing,
page right there.
yeah.
Yeah, that panel right there.
I
Ooh.
thought
Yeah.
the exact same thing, Eric.
Yeah.
Okay.
But everything else
like,
didn't look like that, so I was kind of. It looks better.
Well, Iron Fist #1 is a Marvel comic, $3.99. It is written by Alyssa Wong. The art there is by, and I think he's fairly new. at least on the Marvel level. It's Michael Ig, colors by J. David Ramos, letters by VC's Travis Lanham again, and maturity level is T+. Now, while I write for various sites, this is my own independent feature, and it should not be considered representing any views of those sites. The Iron Fist is back, and Danny Rand has got him. Well, he encounters him at least, and tests him, and then loses him via a portal to Kunlun that that Danny has never seen before, at least. It's a solid start for the newest inheritor of the Iron Fist mantle. Writer Alyssa Wong has taken the aftermath of last year's Iron Fist Heart of the Dragon limited series and has used it for doing something that I really do appreciate. Instead of creating an all-new, all-different version of an established hero, a cover blurb that's a lot more blurb than fact usually, she has used a pre-existing Marvel character who is smartly suited for inheriting this role. The Heart of the Dragon series ended with the Iron Fist powers transferred because of necessity to Okoye of the Wakandan Dora Milaje for the final confrontation. With enemies of her martial arts task force defeated, she offered the power back to Daniel Rand, but he refused. To save his friends, he had willingly passed the torch. The mantle was meant for a new inheritor, he decided. So Okoye then transfers the power of Iron Fist to Shao Lao's newest reborn dragon egg, and there it would reside until the dragon once more decided that Kunlun required the protection of its Iron Fist. Well, in our new series, Danny Rand is just grabbing lunch, just going across Flushing, New York to talk with Luke Cage, or trying to, because Chinese demons attack an antique shop for one particular shard they're in, and that distracts him. He is still a skilled martial artist, even without the Iron Fist, and so he intervenes, but he ends up overmatched until he's saved by the arrival of that Iron Fist that we saw in the spread. A new claimant to the title, and one attired in more traditional Kunlun garb. After the battle, Danny tracks down the new hero and finds that he has been trained in the arts of the mystical city, that Danny was trained there as well. But the new Iron Fist just hasn't yet fully mastered the powers that come with that title. So while the story ends up with a two parting of ways and Danny's offer to help mentor the new Fist turned down, Rand appears to be a recurring or support player in the future issues, at least for a while. Wong writes Danny very well and has started a narrative which might require instruction from the mystical city warriors and a former Iron Fist in shaping this new hero. He may need both. Because the new Iron Fist was once the inheritor of an artifact, a powerful magic sword now shattered. A shard from it is what the demons sought in the store, as did our new Iron Fist, because the hero has shards of that same blade in his hands. Shrapnel from when the artifact shattered. His goal is tracking down all the bits and eventually restoring the weapon. But in the meantime, he found himself in Kunlun, and his presence there jump-started that previously mentioned reborn egg. Shao Lao, the Undying, chose the new Iron Fist, and in so doing, this hero has two mighty mystical elements manifested in his fists. By the time he's fully trained, Iron Fist may become this version at least, may become the Marvel version of One Punch Man. Or the hero might find the talisman and the mystical essences now housed within him at odds with each other. Regarding the identity of the new Iron Fist, anyone following Marvel's martial arts ventures may know from the clues that I've dropped who it is. Maybe not. Either way, pick up Iron Fist 1 to be fully enlightened, or to have your theory proved correct, or to explain how the candidate in your theory would have made a better Iron Fist so your friends will stop telling you about it. The art of Michael Ig bounces with youthful energy, and this makes for exceptional fight scenes, radiating splashes imbued with otherworldly enchantment, and humorous character interactions. Not over-the-top humor, but light. The martial arts poses, to me, they feel stiff in places. And that's what I wanted you guys to kind of give me some feedback. In some of the battles with Danny Rand, although there's a lightness to them, just seemed a little stiff.
There were moments just in the brief glimpses that I got. it looks like some of the artwork falls flat, literally. Like it looks like some of the
Yes.
yeah, it looks like you really lose the dimensional aspect of the art. And some of it did kind of look a little Liefeld-ish.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that
I
one
didn't
really
think of
caught
that.
me.
I hadn't
But
thought of that.
it does look like that is this artist's only credit. This
Yeah.
might be the only book he's worked on professionally.
Well, if this is the only book professionally he's worked on at this level, good on him. Because
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that splash page with the dragon was beautiful.
It was nice. Yeah.
Man, that
So-
was great.
Kind of hot and cold with the art, but now here's another thing. Yes, there's a lightness between the "Hey, I could be your mentor" and the new guy in their fight and everything. But we get quite a bit of Danny Rand in this book, and give him some worry lines, okay? Don't make the mentor look as young as the guy that he wants to train, because
Right.
he's been through hell.
Mm.
He's been through hells. He's been through a lot of hells, okay? So his lack of at least a few worry lines was distracting to me as an old guy. But
Don't you know that Batman has been 33 since 1939?
yeah,
on
I do.
now.
I do. But
And
I
his-
still, when you have somebody going, when he goes, "I could be your mentor," and he looks as young as the guy he's wanting to mentor, that's a problem for me.
Thanks, 19-year-old. I appreciate that.
Exactly.
35-year-old man and his 33-year-old son. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. The colors by J. David Ramos makes the splash pages, especially number 1, pop. I think it really helps enhancing their narrative placement with the right added impact. The art strikes and Ramos follows through dramatically in well-selected levels of vibrancy. Travis Lanham, VC's Travis Lanham, is always seamless in the word flow through his captions and dialogues. The additional bonuses here are the right sounds for this title. That's a Mystical City Training Corps shouting. It's the crackle of a closing portal, or some horrendous bone crunches as a Chinese demon breaks out of its mortal shell.
All right.
Yeah. So the tone for Iron Fist 1 takes a wide stance. It has a lightheartedness about the characters, but dire potential in the threats forming against our hero. If the creative team continues in this vein, they'll have a title which illustrates great evils being undone by the support and the good nature of friends made along the journey. Exciting, even optimistic, but never brooding. And not brooding feels fresh. It makes for an enjoyable read in this case, and it frees up prime brooding perch space for the anti-heroes and those with the big flowing capes.
There you go.
Yeah. My score for Iron Fist number 1 is 7 out of 10.
Very cool. Very cool.
Clyde, are you becoming a Marvel fanboy?
No. There's a
Because
lot
I
of,
believe I read a positive review on Ghost Rider too.
ooh. Actually, it was not as positive as I wanted it to be. It wasn't horrible. Yeah. Hey, here's a high cover price. Here's a lot of artwork that worked okay. So
Did you think it would have been better with a painterly style?
Yes. When you said
Yeah.
that, I'm like, that would probably have helped. The art and the art was a selling point for me. So,
Mhm.
I thought the writing was it didn't really do much for me. So, but hey, you can go read my review of that at www.doomrocket.com.
Yes, you can.
And yeah, it wasn't as positive as I wanted it to be. I wasn't as excited as I wanted to be about it.
It sounded like a good review, though.
Thanks, Carl. Well, thank you. I didn't want to slam it. It's got to have some time to build, but when you add an extra 11 pages and you give me a cover price of $5.99, I had expectations that were. Yeah,
Well, but it's also
get it out
Marvel,
here.
so it's only going to run 12 issues and get canceled for a couple of years anyway.
They should be better than that. I don't want to see that. I want here.
And I'll say this, Eric. That's why I'm not a Marvel fanboy. Is that reason right there? It's not because they don't have quality characters, quality stories. I think they absolutely do. But like
Brian, you're the
Come
only
on.
one that bought Blue and Gold.
Yeah, and
The sales
the
report
idiot
showed
who
that
held up
Blue
an
and Gold.
8-issue
emphasizing
series.
something
So.
else. He's emphasizing something else. That book is only going 6 issues. Just like Nubia and the Amazons went 6 issues. Just like all these others, books are going like 6-issue miniseries. So I think that's just one of the things that just been happening as of late.
Yeah, it's easier to market those limited series. Yeah, I should have held up this one, issue 1040. So
there you go. Yeah.
Although I do want the legacy titles to keep going. Although, was it Superman's gonna, the Kal-El version? He's coming back.
Oh yeah.
No,
this is
what they're gone forever.
Oh, Eric,
Just like Uncle Ben.
You know what? I want Uncle Ben to come back as a villain and be like one of the best Spider-Man villains one could ever ask for. What if he was the Green Goblin from a different Earth?
Oh my God, that would be
right.
Fun.
Interesting.
Marvel, hire me. I will write this story. I won't draw it because that's too much time.
It takes too much time from cashing those paychecks, right?
Right.
I hear ya. And Girl Wisdom says the short run comics are the comic version of Coffee Peeps. I'm just gonna have to get some Coffee Peeps before next week's show and just sit here and eat them in front of you all.
Oh.
Why would you? I thought we were
Why
friends.
would you? Yeah. Why would you do that?
I'm destroying them to save you all. It's like throwing.
JD, go get Brian now.
There'll be a race to see who dies first, me from ptomaine poisoning or Brian from his allergies. So we'll make it.
Yes.
And we are glad that you were here, Ryan, because we are going to get back to your question. And again, thank you very much, Carl. I've got Carl Wisman. I'm looking at him. Thank you, Carl, and thank you, Clyde, for your great review. Ryan Permisson says, I like the big two for certain reasons, but I'd rather read indie creators' stories with new characters where they can do anything they want with the story. Yeah.
Indeed. There it is.
Yeah.
Well, the big two could do that too, but they just don't anymore.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many lawyers in charge there. But speaking of Ryan Permisson, he left us a question at the start of the show, and I think we should get back to it. Question: do you own any graded comics, also known as slabs? Full disclosure, I own 2.
Only 2?
I just got started.
Full disclosure, he owns 2 more than I do because I only got
2 more than me too. Yeah,
I have one. I have one.
Okay,
it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 3rd edition or 3rd print edition, and it is graded a 7 out of 10.
That's nice. And he also wants to know, if so, which ones? Does it matter okay, we'll do this one at a time. And I know Joe's answer is going to be a little longer than mine. I have 3 more in the queue, which has been almost a year since I put them in. And the 2 I have Wonder Woman #96, the first series. The first Andrew and Esposito. I think it's 96. The first Andrew and Esposito, and the artwork. And the second one is Pillory Me If You Must, Berserker #1 with Keanu Reeves. I bought that strictly as an investment. I'm sure that it is
speculator.
A former friend of mine used to call them speculeechers, and I will own it.
Speculeechers.
Yeah, speculeechers.
This is tingling.
But I bought that one strictly as a kind of a fun investment.
You didn't send off your copies of Superman 75 to get graded so you can retire?
No. I crinkled up the poly bag, so I'm sure it won't be as high a grade as I'd like.
As long as you got that armband still in there, I think you're good.
That's true. I do still have the armband, all the junk that was in there. But no, I do have 3 more. I don't remember what the third one is, but one, it's been that long. One is a Human Torch #3 from winter 1940.
Ooh.
Just for preserving. That was my high school graduation. Thank you. Thank you, Joe.
I like that one.
Nice.
Yeah, that was my high school graduation gift from my late mother. So I wanted to keep it nice. And then the other one was Giant Size Man Thing #2, because I have a letter in there. So, and I just like the idea.
Wait, so you had it slabbed so you could never open it up and show people your letter? Just tell people your letter's in there?
No, I've got an extra copy.
Oh, okay.
So I'm good there. So anyway, that's the entire sum of my collection. I only have 2 in hand, 3 waiting. And Joe, what you want to? Yours has taken an hour just by itself, I think.
A lot longer because it's a lot. I mean, as of right now, that I still know that I have in the queue, I have 2 copies of Sensational She-Hulk #1 sitting there. I'm trying to find another Sensational She-Hulk #40 before I could get graded. But the last one that I received back was Future State Wonder Woman #1, which is a 9.8.
Oh, that's nice.
And then I showed you guys not too long ago. You can go back and watch the videos where I got the Savage She-Hulk #1, 1, 6, 8, and 25, which was the last issue of that run. Right. All CGC's graded. And that's the only touching like the tip of the iceberg, because I could go all the way back to like Wonder Woman #9 from 1945, which is a 5.5, the first Giganta issue.
Nice.
I got, X-Men #1 from 1963 at a 1.5 CGC graded. I have issue 2 graded at a 2.5. The I believe it's Uncanny X-Men from 1963. I believe it's issue 8 with the Uranus the Untouchable. That came back at like a 6. So it's like several issues. I could keep going and going and going. But the thing about it is that I do this stuff as preservation more so for the collection than anything else, because I don't want them to get worse, because I don't think I'm going to ever get any more like that. So it's like, the Wonder Woman #9, Wonder Woman 23 and 26. 23, I believe, was the first Villainy Inc. and 28 was like the first full battle between Wonder Woman and Villainy Inc.
Sounds right. That's cool.
Those are, I know for a fact, and I still have a lot more to get graded based upon preservation.
CGC
when you
or
guys
CBC?
stay in the queue, I'm sorry, Clyde, go ahead.
Oh, well, he was saying CGC or CBC because
CGC. I don't do the CBCS.
The people I deal with are strictly CGC too. So
yeah, mine is CGC. I didn't have it graded myself. I bought it at a store. So it was a closing sale of the store that had my books that they had. I have to give them props. I wish they were still open. They really went out of their way to like put indie books up front. Like they had a whole like stand. They had my poster up there for memoirs. They had all the books. They had the trades right at the counter. And they just weren't doing. Diamond kind of screwed that store over, and they weren't really able to move a lot of books. And so he bought a bunch of Ninja Turtle stuff, and there was a grade 9 of a first edition.
Ooh.
That he had,
wow.
and it was like $1,000, and I was like, yeah, I can't afford that. And so I saw the third edition that was there, and I think it was like $400, and it became a birthday present for me. So
nice.
yes, it was. I cherish it greatly. And in the next few weeks, it will be graced by the ink of Mr. Eastman himself at Lexington Comic and Toy Expo.
Very cool.
So yeah,
that's very
now
cool.
He won't like my answer for the very last question.
Okay, yeah. Should I buy mine from a local comic shop or eBay since it's easier on the wallet?
Neither.
Yeah.
That's the answer. Neither. Your best bet is to, if what they call find the books in the wild, unslab, collect what you want to get slabbed first, and then set up your own CGC account, because you're paying a serious markup from local comic book shops, and especially eBay. eBay is ridiculous. eBay, you are not guaranteed to pay market value for your CGC or CBCS slabs. They're going to mark that stuff up so high, and then some comic book shops are good others are not. But for easier on the wallet, it's always best to find your books in the wild, because if you could talk the person down on the actual book in the raw, it'd be easier on the wallet once you get it pressed and just send it over to whatever grading system that you want. It'd be a lot cheaper that way than to buy the markup that a local comic book shop may put on it, and especially eBay. Stay away from eBay unless you know who that seller is, or you just have the discretionary money just to buy it because you want to have it regardless.
Eric, I'm sorry, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
Oh, no. I kind of interrupted you. You guys said you had issues in the queue, and Brian said like a year. Are they that far behind in getting them back to you?
Yes.
Good grief.
Yeah, they are. In fact, they've had to buy a brand new warehouse just to store the books that are waiting to be graded, because it's a meticulous process. It's not like they just look at it and say, okay, it's a 3.0 and just push it down the way. There's like a whole procedure, I guess. My first one with the Wonder Woman, which came back as a 3.5, by the way, I was very happy to say. It took me about 6 months, and I gave my contact the next 3 that I wanted slabbed, and that was early last summer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
wow.
Luna graces us. But anyway, that's been the the thing is, it's not getting any. The queue is not getting any shorter, unfortunately. And the thing is also, CGC always has been having like a number of special signings where they bring somebody in. Like they just recently canceled one of George Perez for obvious reason. They got one with Sam De La Rosa coming up soon. Another one, Tom King, that I saw an email for. And those may get special attention. But you can only imagine how many people are sending stuff in right now. So, So, I mean, I got my Wonder Woman. It was one I bought at the comic shop probably 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know what I paid for it. And I've got something like a 2,000 minimum percent markup on it if I were to sell it. And then the Berserker I bought from a dealer. Actually, I traded for some stuff. So anyway, Carl Westman says, "Hey, Luna."
Yep. I mean, that's how I did my Uncanny X-Men #1 from '63. Yeah. I mean, I remember buying that from Metropolis Comics. Everybody knows what Metropolis Comics, you know, collectibles and everything. I bought that from them for like a little bit over $1,000, and then several years later, it's like, you know, I don't want it to degrade any further. I got it slabbed. I have no idea how much that book went up at the 1.5.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of dealers, there's not like a price guide for them, like an Overstreet for them, because the market can be a little volatile, like cryptocurrency or something. But a lot of dealers use eBay as their guide.
Rant is tingling.
Yeah, I know. But
that would send me into an instant rant, because I have talked to a lot of dealers and I get why the dealers do that.
I do too.
But there's other means and methods to find out better pricing. It's just easier that way for them. Besides, it's the easiest. You know, it's like everybody's going to do easy. Nobody's going to do due diligence, and that's one of the problems that I have with it. I have a problem with speculation as a whole, because speculation, what everybody want to know where all the new people coming into comics. Get rid of speculation.
Yeah.
If you get rid of speculation, you're going to have new people coming in, because that book that you bought, you know, this Wednesday won't shoot up to $200 the next Wednesday.
Right.
What? Oh, crap.
I guess he's gonna return all of his X-Men #1s by Jim Lee.
I guess.
Oh no, I won't.
And Cindy Gap has a follow-up question. How accurate are catalog prices? Stamps and coins are really off. I think one problem is, and this is the reason why a number of dealers are using services like eBay as a price guide, is simply because the Overstreet guide only comes out once a year. You know,
and it's usually outdated by the time it comes out.
Yeah.
But the other problem with eBay is that they don't see the actual statistics on rarity and scarcity. And that's the other problem with it. That's the other problem with using eBay.
Yeah, the problem is, though, a lot, especially the older issues, we really don't know how many there are. I mean, it was easier to try to do this sort of speculation when we had something like the Comic Buyer's Guide out, 40 years ago, because that was a weekly newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it, is and really should be, just plain old economics, whatever the market will bear for that book. And a book, will go up and it will go down, if only just go down just a little bit, but except for your key issues. But and you got to figure also, Cindy, that the prices, at least with the Overstreet Guide, are an average.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, and Joe made a good point about scarcity. There's also regional demand, because like a book that you can't even give away, say in Chicago, you might go to Des Moines, Iowa, and they can't get enough of it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when Frank Miller's Ronin mini #1, we were in Champaign, Illinois, 2 hours south of Chicago. We couldn't keep that in stock. And and at one point I had it like 2 or 3 times Overstreet price, and people were paying it because they wanted it. This is right after Dark Knight Returns.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that book, by the way.
I think it's one of Miller's best, to be honest.
I do too. I absolutely love it.
And I love the ending. That was such a powerful ending.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's, there's just a whole bunch. Joe's right. There's a whole bunch of factors that go into it. But I think in the end, it's whatever the market will bear. So if you can get more for that book than Overstreet's asking, have at it.
It's not, to me, it's not just that. It's like, yeah, you're going to have people that pay 5 times more than what Overstreet wants for it.
Mm-hmm.
But there is an overall average. And especially when it comes to slabs, it's like, as long as these grading places keep their numbers up, as far as how many came across their desk, and you get to see what was the last time those books were valued, because they do cross-reference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You kind of could take an average and you can see, hey, let's take Jim Lee's X-Men #1. Let's say that got graded as a 9. You can see that there's like 200 out there, and the last, and out of those 200, that the average price that was sold for was maybe like $150. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. But going out to eBay and seeing that you got people paying $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, and these were the price that it was sold at, that's going to make this, these retailers say, oh, I could get $2,000 for this issue. It's like, no, no, that's speculative pricing. You can't really say that.
Right.
Look at the statistics. It's like eBay is sometimes way above true market value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have to
well,
look at,
if you watch, like, they ran into a lot of that with the show Comic Book Men. People would walk into the store wanting to sell, rare items, and they would have done research on eBay, and the speculative, price was way over. And then, of course, they didn't take into the account like what the actual quality of their book was in, and they were just like, well, this goes for $2,000. It's like, well, the copy you have goes for maybe $5.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not how this works.
Yeah, that's the other thing on eBay. People go out there and look for price, and they look for what people are trying to sell it at. They don't go look and see what it was sold at.
Right.
You can go, there's a sold sort feature. You can see what people are selling stuff for, and it's usually not what they're asking for.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And Cindy Kep says, some of the Disney ones I have are not priced, so wild guess. There are people you can pay to have them appraised.
Now, when she said the Disney ones, we talk about like the Dell Go Key stuff, the 4-color stuff.
Yeah, that stuff can go for some
Big money.
serious money. Yeah, especially especially if you have like Uncle Scrooge or Donald Duck. Maybe Cindy, I need to talk to you.
Ryan, what volume of the Shadow is that here?
What's he got?
Yeah, it's a comment by Ryan Permission that said, because one of my local comic book shops has the Shadow #1 from DC slabbed at $964.150.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. So
and I'm up here. It's like, what year was that? What year was that?
They did multiple #1s with the Shadow.
Yeah, if it's the Mike Kaluta one, I could see it, because that one was also part of a number of #1s at the time where the speculators got a hold of them. And it and Shazam #1 were also very underprinted too, and badly distributed. There were a lot of major cities that did not get those copies. So
if it's one of those, I say, yeah, that's a steal at $150.
I'd agree.
Yeah. That's
agree.
a steal at $150. Go ahead and buy it. But if it's a later one, and I think it's like, wasn't there a Shadow around 2004 or 5?
Yeah, that was from Valiant, right?
Or Dynamite, I think.
Dynamite, that's what it was.
Yeah, but there was also back in the 80s, there was The Shadow Strikes by Gerard Jones and Edward Barreto, and then there was The Shadow. There was a 2 or 3 issue deluxe edition miniseries from Howard Chaykin.
Was that the one where it was like the future Shadow?
No. This the Future Shadow, I think, was more like The Shadow Strikes, where they cut off the Shadow's head and everything, and Margot was carrying him through the Andes or whatever.
Yes. Because that was the one where like Burbank was murdered at the beginning of it. All this crazy.
He says 1973. That might be worth it.
That's Kaluta. That's Kaluta for sure.
That you need to pick up at $150
for sure. That's going to be a solid
I can honestly guarantee you this: any other less reputable shop will probably be selling that for close to $500.
Probably so, and that's a pretty high for a 9.6 for that vintage is really, really good. Because here's another thing: at that time, there were not many places selling bags and boards.
Yeah.
In the early 70s, I still have my Robert Bell bags, and those are great bags. They haven't turned yellow. They're a little sticky, a little stiff from that time, but they're terrific bags. I still run across some of my old comics that still has the Robert Bell stuff on them. So
is it too good to be true for that?
No, it's not too good to be. It's not too good to be true.
That was kind of
my more fair market value. That's actually fair market value, about $150. But I just know comic book stores would try to run it up to $300-400.
That means he's got it. That means he's got an honest comic shop.
Yeah, really. Yeah, and if you find one of those, buy it for $150, then run it down to the bad comic shop, because really $150 for something like that is pretty close to what a shop might pay for it.
And while you're buying it, open a pull box, because they deserve your service.
Exactly.
There you go.
Well
And
said.
let's
Well
see.
said.
Cindy Cap says, I have some old Disney, mostly Scrooge, McDonald, and Donald. Most of those are priced.
Yeah,
Many of those are priced, but there's rather large assortments of others that aren't. Any of the Dells will probably be worth, from Dell Comics, will probably be worth a considerable amount of money. Even maybe some of the Gold Key, if they're from Gladstone or anything more recent, they're probably around cover price. But maybe
that's
Cindy,
the one that he said.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it. That's Kaluta. That's
Yeah.
Kaluta.
That's the one that's worth it. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
with a beautiful Jack Adler coloring job on
Ryan, go there tomorrow morning, sir.
Yeah.
it. Yeah, get it before they come to their senses. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ted Davies there, artistry, says, pick that up, Ryan, or I am. And okay, thank you, Ryan. Thank you. But yeah, that's definitely the one, written by Denny O'Neil and drawn by Mike Kaluta. In fact, the first I think it's the first 4, and number 6 are by Kaluta. The rest, there's like 2 or 3 by Frank Robbins that are still worth a little bit of money, and then after that is E.R. Cruz finish up the series. Those are nice, but it's definitely those Kaluta issues that are worth a long dollar there. So,
Eric, what are we drawing tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, on drawing quarter, it's cute night.
Ooh,
So we're having
are you drawing me?
I am. We're having a cute off to see who could draw the cutest drawing. Because there's been lately, there's some younger female artists that have joined us that always draw cute stuff. So
I think you should draw me and Brian canoodling. I think that's the cutest possible thing you could ever draw.
Yeah, I would kind of like to win. So I'll probably be drawing. I don't know. Original thought was draw Baby Yoda and the little Puss in Boots, little mean with the big eyes. Going,
that's perfect. Yeah.
But I'm going to lose to one of the girls anyway, so it doesn't matter.
So just draw what you want, right?
Yeah.
Well,
you draw us, they'll ban you from the show. They're like, that was something else.
there you go. And now Lissy has a suggestion. Draw Reese, Dad. She's cute.
That rabbit is bigger than my my Yorkie poos.
Your granddaughters would like it.
They don't watch that show. They're not allowed to watch that show.
Yeah.
They probably shouldn't be allowed to watch this show half the time. But
yeah,
probably not.
Half the time I'm thinking of them when I'm like, oh crap, I just said that. So,
yeah. Well, you're usually not the Brian that opens their mouth.
Because usually after the show, like Nora just came in here and she goes, "Who's that pervert in the big beard?" No, she just came in to tell me good night.
Oh, okay. No, really, it's very much like a Hagrid moment every time. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. But of course, my first thought was, who's the big pervert? And I'm like, and then you said the beard. And I thought, what if she thinks this is a beard?
It's very flesh-colored hair.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's like Doctor Who. It's invisible hair, made of glass. So, well, do we want to complain about Comixology in the few minutes we've got remaining?
Well, why don't we save that for next week?
Yeah, we'll see if they fix their act. Now, I have not had any trouble with Comixology since they shifted over to the new program.
KDP.
I'm the one, though, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, I'm the second one. I other than when I finally was able to upload the latest version, it's been smooth sailing. It's not. I like the old format better.
I do too.
But it's not bad.
Yeah, I just couldn't get in it at first.
Yeah.
That's my only issue.
Yeah, and I got right in, except, well, I buy through my laptop because I like the way it works. It's laid out there, but I read it on my iPad. Now, my laptop worked perfectly. No problems with it, but the laptop wouldn't let me proceed until I downloaded the new version.
Yeah.
So they kind of had me over a barrel there. So anyway, yeah, we could talk about it next week and see if they've cleaned up their act. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, we have Ryan Permisson saying, "I'll go tomorrow morning." Sorry, Ted.
Yes, good man.
Yeah,
hey, seriously, Ryan, send me a picture of it too, because the perfect graduation present.
It would be a great graduation present.
Yeah, that seriously would. And Carl Wisman, good show, guys. See you next time. Thank you, Carl.
Yeah.
Thank you for your help tonight, and give Joe Dog our love. And we'll see you tomorrow morning on Nevermind the Furthermore. So.
And Donna, I hope she feels better soon.
Yeah, seriously,
absolutely.
Donna. We love you.
We love you,
take care of
Donna.
yourself.
Oh, now I have thought about getting some books graded, but those would be my books I wanted to send out.
Yeah, that's where I'm hoping that with part of my refund, I go ahead and get that membership to CGC before I can start doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, I've still got like all those Spencer spooks we made, Eric, and I was thinking of sending some of them in just for my own ego. So, but
don't say we have all those Spencer spooks we created.
I don't have a whole lot.
That means none sold.
I have the Spencer spook.
Yes.
But do you have a Spencer spook sketch cover?
No, I don't.
Oh.
Do I? No, I have.
I don't think so.
I
You
have
have
the
a
I
blank
don't have
cover,
a
though.
Sister
I think you have a
Spook
blank
sketch
cover.
cover that has
I have a
Eric
blank cover,
Hawkins
yeah.
art on it either.
Hmm.
We may have to fix these guys up, Eric. I think I may
I-
have one or
I-
two left.
I know Paul Bush, if he's still out there, he does have a Spencer Spook sketch cover
I have one.
Oh.
with Spencer in a kind of a biker outfit, even.
Oh, nice.
Really cool. One of my readers of memoirs is in the process right now. It's in the queue. Memoirs of an Angel issue 1 is in the queue to be
Nice.
graded. So I was like,
Very
well, that's cool. I told him, I was like, well, that's cool and unnecessary.
Well, there's that.
No, it is
As a
necessary.
creator, you
No,
can sign up
you
for
don't
account and get
understand.
books
It is
discounted.
very necessary because, again, for those statistics to add up for CGC and CBCS and PGX, and I forgot what the new fourth one is.
Right.
You need those numbers.
Huh?
You need those numbers just to set a plateau value, for your book.
Right. All right, cool.
That's true. That's true. And Ryan Permisson says, it's my first slab, and I want one so bad. My next slab goal is Kingdom Come #2. That's another good one.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a really good one. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Well done. Well done. Yeah, definitely take a picture of yourself and let us see it when you your new acquisition, and be sure to tag Ted Davies in on it too. So
Now I do have a slab book, but it came out before there was
Davies,
slabs.
go like,
that's right. I'm sorry, Eric. What did you say?
I do have a book in a slab, but that was before there was slabbing services. When you could buy the hard cases yourself.
Yeah.
Put it up
Right.
down.
I've got a few.
I got that. I got Wildcats #1 signed by Jim Lee.
Ooh.
Okay, I've got a
but
complete.
no shirt.
I've got Marvels, the original Marvels series 0 through 4, signed by Kurt Busiek, Alex Ross, and whoever was the editor of that series.
Oh wow!
I have a random Spider-Man book signed by Stan Lee.
Ooh,
I got a Wonder Woman signed by Stan Lee.
nice.
Yes, that's one of the greatest Wonder Woman stories ever told.
Oh, is that the one?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the Just Imagine series. Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Those are great. Those are
I-
With art by Jim Lee.
Yeah. I've shown it here before, but I have to. It's my prized possession. My Kevin Conroy signed out of print Batman animated book.
Ooh.
It's not a comic, it won't get slabbed, but there are two other signatures that I want to collect.
Yeah.
And neither one of
Is
them
it
do
considered a
Comic-Con.
magazine?
No.
That's
No.
too thick.
Yeah, it's not a magazine.
trade paper,
but it is-
coffee table book more.
I
Like.
want to get it is. I want to get Bruce Timm's signature,
Ooh, yeah.
and Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah.
Maybe Paul Dini if I can ever see him. But
Yeah.
usually they don't really venture this far east. So
That's because they don't print enough money for them to leave LA. So
I know.
that's the problem.
Because the asthma's too bad out that far east.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're like, we don't go there because there's no air.
Ryan says, thank you guys for answering my questions and advice. I love the Shadow character. Ain't a darn
Yes.
thing wrong with that. And
Hey, I'll say this, Ryan, no joke. If you like The Shadow, you will love B-Man by Clyde.
yeah, seriously,
it-
good story.
I got such Shadow vibes when
Oh.
reading B-Man. I loved it so much. Clyde.
Thank
It
you.
was so
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
and the rivalry begins. If that shop opens at 10 a.m., you better be buying them at 10:05, Ryan. Just saying.
Wait. How close are Ted and Ryan? Do
I
they
know. I
live
was gonna
close?
say, are they by each other?
I think Ryan has the advantage if it's in his town, because Ryan lives in Pennsylvania and
Oh,
Ted
yeah.
lives
Ted's in
like about
Michigan.
20 feet from the Arctic Circle.
So what? Ted's gonna call the shop,
Yeah.
Right.
then have them put out a sign that says "Bought by Ted" when Ryan shows up.
You know what, Ted? If I were you, I would just do that. Just tell him, be like, please, just he's gonna come buy it from you today, but just please tell them that Ted bought it first before you actually sell it to him. That would be hilarious.
That would be funny for everyone but Ryan.
Right.
Exactly.
He lives in Maryland. Excuse me. I think I was thinking of Grant Lankard then. But Ryan lives in Maryland and Ted is in Michigan.
Yeah, I knew
Still.
Ted was up in Michigan.
And
Yeah.
Ted's coming down to Kentucky for the Lexington Comic and Toy Show. And
That's right. I
I'm
wish
just
I
saying-
wish I could go. I wish I could
I'm just
go.
saying, a bearded Brian will actually be there. on
Ooh.
Saturday and Sunday. So
Nice.
if those of you who might be enticed to come join us would be enticed by that news, come see me.
I may have to cancel all my plans. No, I was invited.
Yes.
Damien invited me to come down.
I know
but
we talked about it today.
I know. And I wanted so bad, but I just, a whole bunch of factors. And mostly I've got so much work to do. I'm not
Hey,
trying
I
to find too
understand that.
many.
Well, hey, I understand that because I'm not going to do Thursday and Friday of the show.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just going to be there Saturday and Sunday. My wife and our assistant's going to cover the table those days.
Oh, cool.
Wow,
Good.
our assistant.
Yeah, we have one. Isn't it weird?
That's fancy.
I know.
It means you got money.
Yeah.
Well, like, shows are as business to have assistants
Yeah.
being
Well,
there.
here's the thing.
I usually have an
Yeah.
assistant too. I say, hey kid, come here. I'm gonna go outside. Step off the table for a minute.
But Mr. Hawkins, the judge said no.
Pick up just some random homeless man. Just say, here, I'll give you a job for the day and a cheeseburger at the end of it.
Like
Come
Happy
help me.
Gilmore.
Eating Ritz crackers off the green.
Now I had an assistant at where was it? Heroes for Kids Con last year. A dear friend of mine, Sarah Kester, came over, and she's like, "How about I hang out in your booth? We talk all day." And I'm like, "Fine with me." And she was actually selling more books than I was. In fact, she had to grab me a couple times because I'd wandered off.
And that kind of explains it. She was at your table, you weren't.
Exactly. That's what assistants are for, I hear. But no, I was going around schmoozing, and she was yelling, "Brian, get your ass over here!" And at one point she grabbed me by the shirt collar and dragged me over because I had to sign some books. But I took her out to dinner that night, and she's like, I even offered to give her a cut of the take, and she's like, no, you don't have to do that. But I took her out to dinner. And she, I think I've got an assistant for life. And Sarah has volunteered to be my assistant too at some shows. So
Yeah, she was oh crap, I just blanked on his name. She assisted for
Ron Fitzgerald?
there it is, thanks.
Ron Fitzgerald,
yeah.
the master of dark, sticky magic.
Indeed. She was his assistant for a show.
That's right. She didn't know
She
she was
told me-
going to be.
Yeah, she said that. She's like, it's weird when you find out your friends are famous.
Yeah. And but she knows me. I don't think I'm famous. And
That's what I was like. I don't know. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
he is. Yeah.
That's my. And here we go, Rodman. It will be epic. I'm the assistant at my table.
There you go.
He's Christine's assistant. And
Yeah.
I did watch Darkman 2 and Darkman 3 this week, so I got my shadow fixed. There we go, Ryan.
I'm sorry that you watched Darkman 3.
It makes you appreciate Darkman 1 all the more.
Oh, Darkman
Yeah.
1 is so good.
That is good. I saw that in
Oh.
the theater. That was amazing. I loved it. So
I don't know if I'd call it good.
I loved it. It was a lot
It's
of fun.
cheesy as can be.
Liam
I mean, it's
Neeson
not
is
an
wonderful.
Oscar-winning
Oh,
good.
no.
I mean,
no,
sure, it's
no.
the same actor from Schindler's List, but it's not the same performance.
that's true. That is true.
Yeah, he
but-
did kind of phone it in a couple times, but it was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, he's just up there reciting those lines, working with Sam Raimi, and thinking, another 20 years, I'll be telling people over the phone I'm going to kill him. I just wait for it. I'm waiting for it. So,
I have a particular set of skills. Have you seen Darkman?
if you haven't bought the cassette, I will hunt you down and I will kill you. Yes. And Ryan says, take the pink elephant, Rodman. Is that code? Anyway,
Always.
cool. Excellent. So I think let's call it on this, and another fine show, gentlemen.
Indeed.
Yeah, so we'll go clockwise this time. We'll start with Brian Rodman. Brian, tell everyone how the universe can keep up with your amazing
That's
exploits.
counterclockwise.
Shut up.
As before, nothing has changed outside of standing out in front of my house creepily like Michael Myers on Halloween. You can go to brianramen.com and you can buy comics such as the Dark Fantasy series Lord of the Rings. Oh, good grief! Lord of the Rings.
Freudian slip is showing, Brian.
I don't know. It's like Lord of the Rings meets The Exorcist, is what I was really wanting to say. But it is called Memoirs of an Angel. It's a lot of fun. It's got some really interesting topics that are faith based and has a lot of dark fantasy. Think of it's very much Lord of the Rings meets The Exorcist. I'm rambling now. Just go to someone else. Go to BrianRobin.com. I'm on the Dastardly Dingoes as well. Just go there and let me go home.
I
And
never
there's
want
Luna saying, "Hey, you forgot about the Patreon, you fool."
Oh yeah. So Luna wants me to tell you that Princess Warriors is on Patreon, which you can also find at the homepage of BrianRobin.com. My nieces and I are teaming up. And we have come up with a really fun story. It is we have an entry every 2 weeks, and it's a page or two following the adventures of 3 princess sisters whose parents have been the king and queen of Atradia have been kidnapped by Mog the Mean, and so they must travel through the Forest of Fright and over the Mountains of Madness to rescue their parents and meet some friends and foes along the way. So join us on Patreon. The next entry is coming out this coming Monday.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you.
All right, now here's Joe D. McFee. Tell everybody how awesome you are.
And I'm a part of the 2 movement.
Yes,
People
we
know
know.
what the 2 movement is.
We know what the 2 movement is. Hey, I got some good news for you coming up, sir.
Yes, you gave us the announcement. I think it's either going to be a trailer or a sample page coming soon.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
All right. Interesting that you're speculating. I like it.
Speculator.
We had a whole half of an episode talking about how bad speculation is. What do you expect me to do? Anyway, I am Joe D. McFee. I'm the president of CGC Studios. As you can see, the green screen is off fast right now, but we got the URL right there for you. You can get our comic books there. I am the creator of Primetime Saturday Night, AWF, and Amazonia, which is our flagship comic book. Outside of that, I actually have my own show from the Decimal Small Press Publisher, which you can watch here on the Rising Tide Network on Saturdays at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern, and Thursdays now I'm going to try to be here more so to do reviews with the gang here at Comic Book Spectrum.
Good.
And there's a couple of other things coming down the pike. One being Amazonia #7 should be coming up very, very soon. Plus the other project I've been working on that is role playing related. We're making some progress there. I just never realized how much writing it would take to do the behind the scenes, or I shouldn't say behind the scenes, more of the personality aspects of these types of things. So it's been real interesting. It's been a nice little ride dealing with that. So be looking out for us because of the simple fact that we're going to have probably a couple of crowdfunding campaigns coming up soon. Maybe some more press announcements about actual local comic book stores you could go to get our stuff here soon. Keeping our fingers crossed here.
Excellent. Super. Look forward to that. Thank you very much, Joe. Appreciate you. And now we have the one, the only, the pro slayer himself, Eric S. Hawkins.
Well, I'm Eric S. Hawkins, of course. You can find me on any social media. Just look up my name. And especially this time of the year, right before I go into crowdfunding, I start posting more stuff on my social medias, which means Zone for World of Oz #4 will launch on April 8th.
Yay!
And I will no longer be printing issues 1, 2, and 3. They're gone. I'll be printing a trade paperback and a hardback of 1 through 3.
And how much?
So if you don't have 1 through 3, you missed out getting single issues. But if you have single issues, send them off and get them graded.
How much is the markup for the ones that you still have left?
Still a cover price.
Yeah, right. Anyway.
It's still a cover price for now until that new one comes out. Then I'm going to jack them up 100% and put them on eBay.
There you go.
Slab them and then put them on eBay.
Ooh.
Oh.
Now we're thinking.
Exactly.
Now we're cooking with grease.
And also, real quick, apparently my granddaughter Nora Her she just came in here a second ago to show me, you know, that Batman book Brian Rodman showed? Look, I drew Batman. Now, does she draw anything I do or show? But she would come here, Brian Rodman. I'm like, what?
That's right. She likes me more than you. It's okay.
And I'm the one that fixed the Nintendo Switch Lite.
Well,
But
you
I have
fulfilled your
Batman.
purpose. There's no use in sucking up to you anymore.
Maybe it's vengeance for making them do that jigsaw puzzle that you call monkey meat.
Could be.
Yeah, he's gonna sit that granddaughter down, and make her read that thing. And I'm calling DCFS if I hear about it. Anyway, thank you.
That's it for me. We're good.
All right, I know you're good. Thank you very much, Eric. As
Thank
always. And Mr. Clyde Hall, take us out of here.
You know, this has been a good time.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
indeed.
And I think about, at the end of a show like this, I think about all of the friends that I have made at Doom Rocket, at Comic Book Spectrum, and one of the best times of my life is right here. Fandom, getting to talk and visit and review comic books with people that I really, really appreciate, and can laugh with in some of the darkest times. And thank you guys for having me on the show and for helping me to keep steady on my writing. You can find some of my work at Stormgate Press, pulpreality.com, Pulp Reality 1, 2, and 3. And you can find me at Comic Book Spectrum every Thursday with you folks. But thank you.
We love you, Clyde.
We love you, man.
Yeah, we love you. And Clyde, where else could you drop Wicked Burns on Ted than with us?
Exactly.
Yeah.
With precision and stealth.
A surgical strike on his ego.
Yes.
Thank you, brother. We love you, man. Seriously. And I've got to follow that.
Good luck.
I'm giving up right now. I can't top that. Seriously.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
It's what Clyde said, and then some. And Ted Davies says, "Great show, Fab Five. Much love and much success, everyone." Ted, thank you very much for being here, and thank you as always for being a good sport. And it's, I think Clyde spoke for a lot of us. This is the highlight of my week. This really is. And anyway, folks, if you should want to follow me, I'm primarily on Facebook. I do a lot of social media, starting to do a little more on Twitter now because I bought a new hazmat suit. And I think I can do it now. And I'm going to be wearing a scuba gear under it because we can't take chances anymore, and wearing a condom. Because that stuff will keep you safe, I hear. Anyway, we do that. We're on those places primarily. But if you want to follow what I do, go to risingtide.pub. That has links to our broadcasts on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, as well as our various books on Amazon and Smashwords. And you can also sign up for my free monthly newsletter, which will go out next week. Because I thought I had more time than I remember today. It's February. So I've got less time to write it than I thought. So anyway, and be sure to pick up our new books that have just come out, including The Lost Adventures of Captain Hawkins, The Skyhook Remnant, a done-in-one adventure there for 99 cents on Amazon. Also just came out Oof Boff Splat, covering the third season of the Batman 1966 TV series. And all kinds of wonderful books that I am in, with more to come. And also, we want to thank our ongoing sponsor, Jeffrey Hayes and Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. A great book deserves a great cover, so check out Jeffrey Hayes' work. He's worked for a lot of publishers. Now he can work for you. His prices are very indie creator friendly. Go to his Facebook page and check out his work, and then go to plasmafiregraphics.com and get in touch with him and put him to work for you. You'll be glad at the results. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. Also, we want to thank our Patreon supporters who help keep this show on the air. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can support your favorite creators directly, and these wonderful people support the Rising Tide publications, broadcasting, and the overall mission of the Rising Tide. And if you want to find out what we will do for you in return for your support, go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. We're also a proud part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Please stay tuned for Stupid O'Clock, which is already in progress, and followed by Last Man Standing, plus a full day of more fun tomorrow that we will talk about at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Nevermind the Furthermore. Please join me then for that if you would. And so we're going to scroll down to where we need to be. Thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, especially on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up if you would, and tell your friends about the show. We are the show for people, the comic show for people that don't like comic books all that much sometimes. We're the antidote to those. Anyway, you have a fantastic week. We will see you next Thursday on another episode of Comic Book Spectrum. And as always, stay smart, stay safe, and wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. Have a great evening, everyone. We'll see you next week on Comic Book Spectrum.
Welcome to Comic Book Spectrum, a Rising Tide Broadcast Network production. Thank you for watching Comic Book Spectrum, a Rising Tide Broadcast Network production. Please join us next week for another look at comics, past, present, and future. If you enjoyed this, please give the show a like and be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends. To receive our free monthly newsletter, go to www.risingtide.pub and be sure to give the Rising Tide Broadcast Network page on Facebook a like in order to receive news about upcoming shows, including Clever Title Pending, Stupid O'Clock, Clever as Hail, Comics Chaos and Sass, Tidbits and Scribbles, the Historical Fencing Guild, and Nevermind the Furthermore. See you next week.